Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Sci-Fi Chronicles. It's me and my good friend Ian David Diaz. How you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
doing all right.
you're a roll.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. You sure? You're here? You know where you are? Who
No,
knows?
yeah, no, I'm here, definitely here.
He's a
It's
little
there's
excited, everybody.
apparently there's 4 people watching.
Oh, we've gone up to 7, mate. We've gone up to
Oh,
7. Oh.
cool. That's good, I guess.
Yeah, he's a
Um,
bit excited, Ian is, by the way, everybody, because tell
I
everyone
am,
what you're doing tomorrow, mate.
because I am going to see, is it the 40th anniversary of Back to the Future in IMAX tomorrow? So I'm counting the minutes and the hours.
I'm
I love that
jealous you get.
film. Well, it's a great movie, man. I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
superb movie.
I I think this is gonna in America, the Jaws re-release did big business,
Yeah.
um, and in England, I didn't think it did, but I think Back to the Future is going to do big business in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
So
Different
yeah, so
animal, isn't it? Different
it is,
animal.
yeah, it is.
Uh, I mean,
Yeah,
just seeing that great movie on the big screen again for the what? How long's it been since you last saw that on the big screen?
um, ever since I saw it when it was
Mm,
released. I think I saw it 4 times in the cinema, um, but the other times I've seen it on Blu-ray because I got the Blu-ray set. Um, I think it was a Blu-ray set. No, it's a Blu-ray stroke 4K set I
yeah,
got. And the 4K one's amazing because you can literally see there's a stuntman in the car in the ending when he smashes
yeah,
through the garbage tins and stuff.
brilliant.
So yeah, it's so clear that you can see there's a stunt guy in the car. Yeah, so it's it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. It's a great movie. I don't know if anyone in the chat's going to go and see it. I don't even know if anyone in the chat is watching.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think 2
Hello.
people are watching. 2 people are watching. I think. I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
It was
I mean,
4, now it's gone down to 2.
yeah, it's upped its game a little bit, mate. I've got the
That's it.
counter up. We're doing all
All
right.
right.
We're
Oh,
breaking
okay.
records tonight, clearly.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
But
Yeah.
I
No.
mean, Back
Mm,
to the Future, mate. It's just. I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, when I talk about my childhood, that this movie is number one, and
it
then I've
is.
probably got Star Wars at number two, and then Raiders of the Lost Ark at number three for me.
Ah.
Those are my films, and then it sort of bounces around regularly between a Roger Moore Bond and something
Yeah.
else. But Michael J. Fox, man, he was just cool as a kid in the 80s. He's
He.
so good.
Yeah. He was top draw, wasn't he? It was because of Family Ties. He was in Family Ties, and
Yeah,
he was, one of the biggest stars on TV at that moment in time. And if
yeah.
people don't know, which I don't think people don't know this, Eric Stoltz was cast as Marty McFly originally. Hello, garbage.
Hey, garbage. Good to see you, mate.
Yeah.
We're off.
Um,
We're off.
yeah. Well, so Eric Stoltz was cast as Marty McFly originally. I think a lot of
Yeah,
people know that. But the reason why they let him go wasn't because he was crap at Marty McFly. It was because he's an incredibly gifted actor, but it was because he didn't get the comic timing thing. He didn't
yeah,
understand the comic, the humor of the
yeah.
piece, and so that's why they decided to let him go. And then Michael J. Fox stepped in. But a little known fact that the girl who plays the mother, which I can't remember, what's her real name again?
You made me
Uh,
forget tonight, but one of my first childhood crushes as well.
Yeah, what's her name? Anyway,
Uh,
Lorraine,
yeah,
Lorraine McFly. The girl who
yeah,
played Lorraine McFly didn't like Michael J. Fox because she had shot all this stuff
Leah
with
Thompson.
Leah Thompson shot all this stuff with the other guy,
Yeah,
and they'd formed a friendship, and so when they let him go, it was it was traumatic for her, but she was upset that Michael J. Fox was taking his place. But obviously, through history, they're now best friends because the film did really well, apparently.
uh,
So
uh,
yeah,
I mean, growing up for me, Michael J. Fox was so big I was such a fan of
Mm.
Michael J. Fox that after Back to the Future, I would just go to a movie. I didn't care what it was about, but I watched it because Michael J. Fox was in it. That's how big for
Secret
me
to My
it was.
Success. Yeah.
Yeah, love that with Supergirl herself in it as well. Helen
I,
Slater.
I see Garbage is going to go and see it tomorrow as well. Man, yeah,
Yeah.
we should swap notes.
And it's good to see Brendan from the Sense Sphere here with
Hello,
Jamie.
mate.
Good to see you guys. Good to see you. And also we got our good friend Matt McGee from the USA. Good to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing
Hello.
okay. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining us.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, Secret of My Success, Teen Wolf obviously was a
Teen
big
Wolf was
one for
fun.
me.
It was fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, it really was
Teen Wolf
fun.
2. Did you ever go and watch Teen Wolf 2 at the cinema?
Unfortunately, I saw that. Wasn't that with Bateman? He took over,
Yeah,
didn't he? Yeah, yeah.
that's
It
right.
wasn't very good. It wasn't very good.
It
The
wasn't.
first one was fun. The second one was just he made
Yeah,
that before back.
timescales.
He made that before Back to the Future. You do realize that, don't you?
That's
He
mad,
made it
isn't it?
before, and they didn't have any faith in it, so they pushed it to the side. And it's only
And
when
then
Back to the
because
Future
of
came out, yeah, they kind
they were
of put
like,
it
he's a
out.
star
Yeah,
vehicle. Yeah, we need
yeah,
to do this.
exactly. Yeah.
But again, there's a film I adore that's not talked about enough with Michael J. Fox, but
Mm.
I love The Frighteners. I really do
Oh, I
like
like
that film.
it's a good film.
Yeah.
That was Lord of the Rings fella, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jackson. Yeah.
Jackson. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a really good film, really imaginative as well. I was quite
But
surprised actually he starred in a film like that when I was watching it. I was like, oh, Michael J. Fox is in this.
yeah, what was the serious one that he did where he went to he was in Vietnam? Do you remember? He did a serious role, didn't he? Kind
Yeah.
of like Born on the 4th of July kind of style, wasn't it? I think
Yeah.
wasn't it like his unit goes rogue and starts killing
Oh God, it had
Vietnamese?
who was in it? The bad guy. Sean Penn was in it. Was Sean Penn in it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think it was Sean Penn.
It was directed by the guy who directed The Untouchables.
Casualties of War.
Yeah, wasn't it directed
Brian De
by
Palma.
Brian De Palma?
Brian De
Yeah, Brian De
Palma.
Palma.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that. Apparently, he was good in that. I've never seen it, to tell you the truth, but Michael,
Because
yeah.
I think that was one of those. I'm sure I read it that was because it was like he was trying to break from the typecast thing because he was
Yeah.
known as who he was as Marty McFly, and then he did Teen Wolf was a similar sort of character, happy and upbeat sort of with his comedy. To do that, he wanted to try and break from it, and I thought it was really good at the time. But it's like, again, with the typecast thing, it's weird seeing Michael J. Fox playing it completely serious. But I think I said to you, mate, as well. Just going to say, I think I might have said to you before, but when I watched the documentary about Michael J. Fox on Apple, he did talk about he felt that during the filming of Back to the Future, he thinks his illness had started at that point.
Yeah,
because he said there were some quirky sort of moves he did, like his body language, and he felt that maybe that was part of the illness coming in.
maybe.
So
Maybe. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, the thing about actors is that Michael J. Fox was he had a certain look, right? And it didn't matter what he did. He was always born to do comedy. He was always born to be who he was. And yes, I applaud him that he tried something different with Casualties of War, but he was always going to go back to the comedy because that's what he was born to do. So there are some actors that just can't shift from what they normally do. Do you know what I mean? It just doesn't work, you know.
And it just worked. You had what was it? Doc Hollywood.
Yes,
That
same
was
thing.
that one. And then you had The Hard Way. I like The Hard
Yeah.
Way. I think that's a good film.
And what's interesting about Back to the Future as well is that they had Eric Stoltz, and they had a different woman playing his girlfriend when they did the Eric Stoltz version. So they had this girl that was playing Marty's girlfriend, and she was just as tall as Eric Stoltz. Now everybody knows Eric Stoltz is taller than Michael J. Fox. So when they swapped out Eric Stoltz for Michael J., they had to get rid of the girl that played Marty's girlfriend. So they got rid of her.
And then again,
no. And then they hired Claudia, they hired her especially because she was the same height as Michael J. So
yeah.
That's Hollywood, baby.
yeah. But then in the sequel as well, Back to the Future Part 2, they then replaced Marty's girlfriend again with Elizabeth Shue. So,
like Elizabeth Shue's the same height as Michael J. Fox. So that, I mean, there was never going to get someone taller than Michael J. Fox, you know. And in fact, if you ever see the pilot of the A-Team, right, they never had that guy who plays Face in the pilot, the guy who was in Battlestar Galactica. They had someone else. The reason why he got let go was because he was taller than everybody else. He was taller than Mr. T. He was taller than what's his name, Hannibal. He was taller than everybody. And that's why they let him go. It wasn't because he was bad at performance or anything like that. They let him go because he was too tall.
I also saw some of the I watched like a director's session on it as well from years ago, and they also said the other reason that they decided was because he was too tall, but also it was because they thought he looked really young, and they said these guys are meant to be guys that were hardened in Vietnam. And he was too young, they felt, to have served in Vietnam and be in the 80s, you know, when this was set. So that's when they brought, you know, Dirk Benedict in.
But Dirk Benedict doesn't look like he served in
Vietnam. No. But do you know what? Yesterday I watched, there was an old Comic-Con meet and greet with Dirk Benedict, and he was great on it. You know, he's literally, he basically talking about the A-Team period and about, you know, were you ever starstruck by anyone? He's like, no. He goes, I didn't have time. He goes, I was learning my lines. And he goes, every time he goes to a Comic-Con, people ask him, you know, what he thought of a particular episode. And he talked about, you know, he always gets asked about Battlestar Galactica, the one where Patrick McNee is in it, and he's like the devil. And he goes, what was in that crashed spaceship at the end when you go back there? And he goes, I don't know. I said, I'm an actor. All I do is read the lines. You got to ask the writers that. He goes, still to this day, he's got no idea what it's about whatsoever.
I mean, again, right. Obviously, guys in the chat, this is like a pub talk. We just talk about anything and everything. Riff. So, so I never liked Battlestar Galactica when I was a kid because I was a Star Wars man.
So we're ending this show right now.
No. I thought, well, I did watch it, obviously. I thought that Battlestar Galactica was a huge rip-off of Star Wars, which it was. And so I watched a couple of episodes, but I wasn't like a big fan of Battlestar Galactica. I was always Star Wars. For me, anyway. So, and I don't know about what other guys think, but yeah.
I mean, I love Battlestar Galactica, and again, it was the right time for me because of the age I was as a kid. But you're right. I mean, the reason I love Battlestar Galactica was because I was a Star Wars fan as a kid, and it was kind of like more of the same. That's what it was. But the Cylons, they look so cool. I still think think the originals look great today. And their voices, cast.
The Cylons' voices were iconic. Iconic, isn't it? So
and I had such a crush on
which one?
You know, Commander Adama's daughter. You know, the
which
brunette.
One was that?
Oh,
the brunette.
Okay. Maren Jensen, I think her name was, the actress. But stunning. Even then, you know, that was one of my first. Oh, okay, I'm coming alive.
I thought you just stop there. You're coming. That's it.
yeah. Mom.
What's this, Mom?
Mom. Clean this up. Get me an ice lolly.
No, I mean, back at Battlestar Galactica, for me, even when I saw it in the cinema, because they released it in the cinema first as a movie with censor round. So I saw it in the cinema, and I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was as good as Star Wars. Because when they make stuff for TV, you can always tell the sets doesn't look as good as a movie. Things just doesn't look right, you know. And you could tell it was made for TV when I was watching the film. There was that certain aspect and aesthetic about Buck Rogers when that was in the cinema, and also Battlestar Galactica. There was something about it. So yeah.
I mean, again, I mean that the the Battlestar Galactica, I mean, it was a time for me because, you know, I grew up on that. I grew up on Buck Rogers, you know, but then I was filled with shows. It was Knight Rider, it was A-Team, it was Airwolf, it was Street Hawk, even Automan.
Automan, Manimal.
Yeah.
Manimal.
Yeah.
Manimal.
Yeah. But it's like Gavin Blackburn said there. He mentions at the end, he goes, yeah, he's brought up an Irwin Allen. That was his sci-fi, you know, that he's brought into. But the Invaders he mentions, that terrified me as a kid in the 80s because it's the intro to it where they're coming to Earth and you see them changing in the tubes, you know, like the transporter type look. And it was a really good show. But
there was
go back to it.
I watched a documentary. It wasn't a documentary, it was like a YouTube video about this guy. He's very famous in Hollywood. He was the man responsible for all the props you see in TV shows and right across the board. He was Mr. Props. And he's retiring, and he was showing us around his warehouse and all the props that they use in films and stuff like that. And he showed us this one prop where it's basically like had four columns, and it had like a pole going through the columns, and all it was just flashing lights. And that prop has been in so many things, it was in Battlestar Galactica, it was in Buck Rogers, it was everywhere. And they even make a joke about it in Aeroplane 2, the sequel, you know, the aeroplane movie, where what's his name, Captain Kirk goes, what does this thing do? And the guy goes, I don't know, sir, but all it's doing is flashing lights left off and on. I don't think it has any purpose than just that. So it's a very famous, it's a very famous prop.
Make them bleep in sequence instead of out of sequence. But Battlestar Galactica, there was a good episode where literally the episode had loads of Britt Eklund as clones in it, and I was like, that's the kind of planet I always wanted to go to be honest with you. Imagine that.
What it was that Hollywood was so jealous of Star Wars that they made Battlestar Galactica, and they threw everything at it, didn't they? They threw gorgeous women. They threw Lon Green, who was like TV royalty.
Oh, he was.
They threw everything at it. They paid John Dykstra over the amount that he should have been paid. Do you know what I mean? It was like
$1 million an episode.
We want what George Lucas has got. We want it, and they tried really hard, but at the end of the day, it kind of fell off the shelf, so to speak.
But I think you know, I really enjoyed the remake of Battlestar Galactica, and that came out from 2004. But again, I think it's just because when you've watched the first one, I'm always that person where it's not quite the same second time around. I'm loyal to the original. So it was just an absolute joy. But I mean, jumping back to the Future, I mean, that's going to be superb tomorrow night. I mean, are you going dressed as Marty McFly tomorrow night? I bet you are. I know what you're like.
I should have brought a t-shirt back to I had a Back to the Future t-shirt with the DeLorean and the fire the car, but I wore it so much it got ruined, you know, like every time it got washed the thing faded on front and I threw it away. But I do happen to have a game that's called Back to the Future. I could just see it there. But I mean, I might bring that along.
But, or play it during the film.
I don't know. So did you see Back to the Future in the cinema then, John? Because I'm a lot older than you, so I don't know if you saw it in the cinema.
I did, but I remember as a kid, obviously I didn't see it first time round, but I saw it again when 2 was coming out. They put the first one back into the cinema. And I watched it then, and I was like, oh, this is superb. And then of course, you know, it was the case of you wanted the VHS for Christmas, you know, so your parents got you the VHS. And I remember getting that fantastic cover, you know, unwrapping, and you've got that cover with the flames coming through your legs, you know, iconic. And it was that trilogy for me as a kid at Christmas, VHSs, it was that trilogy. It was the Star Trek movie collection on VHS in that box. with the Enterprise displayed across the VHS cases, the spines, and then it was also the Top Gun VHS, and I was like, I was happy, you know, content, you know.
Do you remember when they showed Back to the Future on BBC? So they showed Back to the Future on Christmas Day, right, on the BBC, and our whole family, right, we have our lunch, usually Christmas Day, we have our lunch, right, and then we take our sorry time, you know, clearing up and stuff. But Back to the Future was starting at 2 or 3, I can't remember. We cleaned up that place in record-breaking time because everybody wanted to see Back to the Future, right? We sat there, watched Back to the Future, and the thing that spoiled it for me was BBC's censorship. You know the bit where he goes, you're going to see, you know, this when this baby goes 88 miles per hour, you're going to see some serious shit. BBC replaced it with stuff. You're going to see some serious stuff. I mean, like, we're sitting there going, what?
I mean,
what?
I mean, but I've talked to you about this before. This is what was crazy in the 80s, because between BBC and ITV, they would do stuff like that. And then you'd have Jaws on, and you'd literally see the severed leg drop to the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, I know.
And it was like there were two different censors working on different films. And it's like, okay, swearing bad, amputated leg good.
Well, I never understood that because, as again, guys, I would say that I'm a lot older than most, even though I don't look it, of course. When I saw Jaws,
moisturizes everyone.
Exactly. When I saw Jaws in the cinema, because I saw Jaws in the cinema, I didn't see it when it was released originally, but I saw it when it got re-released, and it was an A. So the certificates they had in those days was U, A, double A, and X, right? So U is obviously universal. A is like 15 or something. No, 15 or something like that. And Jaws was given an A, right? There's no way that film should have been given an A. It should have been given an AA, which is a lot older. Because there's floating limbs. There was, I mean, Quint gets bitten in half in the end of the movie. Do you know what I mean? And kids are sitting there watching it. You know,
the head coming out of the boat. You know, with the worms in the eye or whatever it was at the time. It's like no problem with that whatsoever. But I mean, PB here, good to see you, my friend. He says, I love Back to the Future, but with Hollywood being full on woke, nostalgia is at an all-time high. Studios aren't making anything new, and fans want only the old stuff. I'm in that boat now. I mean, I've said to you, haven't I, mate? I've said I'm constantly looking back at shows that I'd never seen before. I mean, this year, I mean, for the first time, I watched The Persuaders, which I loved. And, you know, Gary Akers got me, and Paul Murray, they got me to watch Kolchak the Night Stalker for the first time. Absolutely loved them. And I'm finding jewels now from the past. And it's great. You know, it's just, I don't need loads of effects. I just need a good, solid script and good acting. That's all I need. And I'm happy. I'm hooked.
Yeah, you know? Remember they released. It was just like 2 years ago. They re-released Star Trek: Wrath of Khan in Cineworld, and I thought, okay, I'll go and see it. You know, I haven't seen it in a big screen for a long time, and I was really surprised when I bought my ticket. The cinema was half full, and I went in there, half full. And when I went in there, and as I was sitting there waiting for the movie to start, the cinema got. You know, there were more people coming in, more people. And in the end, the cinema was full. I think it was like 5 seats left or some nonsense like that. And this just goes to show, right? Everywhere I looked, there were people of similar ages. They weren't young. They weren't kids or anything like that. People like me. And this is the icing on the cake, right? When the film had finished and the credits were going, nobody left. Everybody was looking at the credits.
Yeah.
That's just crazy, right? So,
I'm going to be an old fogey git now, right? But do you know what puts me off going to the cinema these days is people these days, they don't respect the cinema experience like they used to. I mean, the amount of people that talk through the trailers now. Yeah. And it's like, I love going there. One of the excitements for me is watching the trailers before the film. I love it. And when I start hearing shouting, I slowly start becoming Michael Douglas from Falling Down. I'm like, I'm going to snap at any moment and go and like feed someone their mobile phone.
Well, I mean, the thing is though, where I go, usually I don't go to unless it's
Got your own
special.
private cinema. That's what you're
No,
telling us.
because I work from home, and my boss lives in another country, so he doesn't know what I'm doing. I could go to the cinema at 2:00 in the afternoon and come back and finish my work. Obviously,
He knows now.
Yeah, he knows now. But the thing is, though, I usually go at 2:00 now, and there's hardly anybody there. And when people are there, they don't really bother me. So what's the last film I watched? I watched Superman. The first time I watched Superman, that was 2:00, and it was hard. There was like a few people in the front, a few people at the back. So do you know what I mean? So it's like it's very rare these days that I go in the evening. I only go in the evening if my sisters wants me to go with to the cinema with them, and that's usually in the evening, 7:00 showing. So but I don't think anyone that is in their 20s could understand the thrill of cinema. I think they won't understand it at all.
No, it's
Well,
different
maybe they will.
generation now.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I just think, again, your generation, because you're slightly older than me, and my generation, that was the excitement. That was the thing. You looked forward to going to the cinema. I think I've said to you before. I remember in the 80s, you had cinema parties. Where someone's birthday, the parents would buy tickets for all the kids and take everyone to the cinema. It was a lot paid. It was either that or a McDonald's party,
Oh,
but
God.
with Ronald would come out of the woodwork and scare the kids, but shove a chicken McNugget up your nostril or something. But the cinema experience, that was part of it. Kids love going to the cinema, so for birthdays you had the big parties. It was great.
When I was young, right, and that was a long time ago. They were double bills. So I remember going to see Spider-Man and Dragon's Challenge, because both of them were two films. So you pay 50p and you get to see two movies. But the best thing about the time that I spent in the cinema, totally best, is that you can walk into the cinema at any point. The first time I saw Spy Who Loved Me, I walked into the film where James Bond had entered the submarine place, the big submarine, and they were captured. So I started watching the film from that point. And the best thing about those days is that once the film finishes, you can sit there and wait till the film starts. And then you can see the beginning and get to the point where you started at, and you can either walk out or you can carry on watching. Do you know what I mean? Those were my
100%.
days. That was my days. You know what I mean? It's hard to understand now, people that go to cinema now, but yeah.
I think it's different as well. You're right. It's a different generation because, for me, being a kid that loved going to the cinema and loved movies, I just got into movies. I think I've said to you before. For one of my birthdays, I think I was 11. Mum and Dad, they bought me a secondhand video recorder.
Yeah.
And I was so over the moon with it because I would be up in my room, literally just watching VHS after VHS, setting the recordings, going through the Radio Times, checking what's coming up to record.
Yeah.
I was in my element with it. It was fantastic. And then as I got older, for a part-time job when I was at college, all I wanted to do was work in a cinema. So I was an usher in a cinema. Yeah. And it was a great time because, you get 2 free tickets a week, and then they'd also have to test the film. So you'd be sat in the theater all by yourself, and I'd watch Tomorrow Never Dies, Austin Powers, just sitting there and snuck a couple of mates in, and you've got the whole theater to yourself. Superb.
Is that when they were shooting on film? When they were screening on film?
Yeah.
It wasn't digital, was it, at the time?
No, it wasn't. So they had to run it through as well when it came in.
But John, when they were running it through, did a ticket come through the screen and fall next to you? Otherwise, if it did, you should have ran. You should have ran. Otherwise,
I went into the screen.
Otherwise, you would have been blown into the screen, and you would have never got out.
yeah. Next thing you know, I'm with Schwarzenegger.
Hey, Schwarzenegger, yeah,
smoking a stogie.
Yeah. So Garbage says, did we hear that Buck Rogers is getting a remake?
I
I've heard.
really hope not. I really
I've
hope
heard.
not, because we'll end up getting a trans Wilma Deering,
Oh
and
God.
we'll and I shudder to think what they do with Buck. You know, Buck will never Buck would never save the day. Buck would be a coward who needed Wilma to help him
Help
out of
him.
the
Yeah. Yeah.
situation. Wouldn't be the swashbuckling cocky guy that we knew, like Gil Gerard was.
God, yeah.
Yeah, I really hope not, because as much as I want it back, I think I'm at the point now, and I'm not necessarily a cynical person. I try and be quite positive, but I think we're in an era now where I don't want stuff I love being remade, especially in this current culture.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I know it's never going to be anywhere near what I had as a kid or what my imagination will come up with.
But there has been some really good remakes, like The Fugitive. I actually thought that was better than the TV show. I really liked the version that I made with Harrison
Ford one. Yeah,
I
it's
thought
very
that
good.
really works really well. The Thing obviously is better than the original, 10 times better than the original. The Fly, disgusting, but great. Do you know what I mean? So there have been good remakes of movies. So there you go.
I think to an extent, though, with those, you're right, they were better, but there was a core element that they kept. Whereas now, you know, we talked about it the other day about Doctor Who, didn't we? You know, about they completely erased the core of what it was. So it's like Matt McGee says, will we finally learn Tweaky's pronoun in the Buck Rogers remake?
Absolutely, yeah.
Tweaky would be wearing a pink skirt in the remake.
Well, that's the thing, you see. Tweaky might not even be in it, because in the original comic book strip, Tweaky, there was no such thing as Tweaky. No. Tweaky was just there to be R2D2. That's basically what he was. But the TV show is good because, again, it's part of my childhood. Saturday evenings or afternoon, watching Buck Rogers season 1, season 2 shit. Yeah, season one of my favorite ones is that vampire one. I thought that was really good. That vampire episode was good. Yeah,
and they had what was it? Second episode, they had like Jack Palance in it as well. He was a villain. Wasn't he? You know, they got some good stars. You know, in that show. I mean, but one thing it terrified me as a kid, and they did really well, was, you know, where he goes into old Chicago with Tweaky at night.
Yeah.
And they got all, you know, the mutants coming out. You know, that was really well done. You know, it's top draw. But PB, just to answer your question, buddy. Yep, that is Emperor Davros from Remembrance of the Daleks. The lid does come up, so it shows Davros inside of it, and it's got the 2 Imperial Daleks. They all come in a set. Character Options did it. So if you can find them, I think they're still on eBay, but probably more than what I paid for them at the time, which was about a year ago.
What you got?
Gavin Blackburn has said, he says, I'd argue The Fly and The Thing were not remakes. Both went back to the source material and started from scratch and went in their own directions.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I'll give that man a cigar. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
There's a stogie on its way to you now, mate.
Absolutely right, mate. I know a lot of people, because like the Thing was a huge flop when it was released in the cinema. Unfortunately, it came out the same year as E.T. and everybody liked friendly aliens. And then obviously John Carpenter, you know, he's a rebel, made that the thing. And you know what? The critics were really harsh with it. Some critics call it disgusting, should be banned and stuff like that. And now it's known as a classic. And now it's known as a work of genius. Do you know what I mean? So,
well, I was watching before work this morning. I was watching a documentary on True Lies. And James Cameron was on it, and he was basically saying when True Lies came out, they were getting hammered by the critics about True Lies. They just weren't rating it. They also said that, you know, the sexy Jamie Lee Curtis dance scene, you know, where she's in her underwear with Arnie sort of doing the dictaphone thing. They said that was cruel.
Why was that cruel?
Exactly, it's Roger Ebert, you know that.
He said, he's too much. Yeah, he should. He should really. He should really look. You know what? Right. There are some
Great
critics
film.
out there. There are some critics out there that are really established, and some I don't like. I didn't mind Barry Norman. I thought Barry Norman had a good take on things. But there's one thing he didn't like. He didn't
His
like
dad was a director as well, wasn't he? I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't like Con Air, which I found he didn't
I
get the
love
whole
Con Air.
concept of Con Air, which I found
Yeah.
really puzzling with him. Derek Malcolm, he's a good. In fact, I met Derek Malcolm at Cannes. Oh my God, the guy can swear. Oh, somebody should give him a bar of soap. He honestly, me and my sister met Derek Malcolm. Really nice guy, actually, apart from his swearing. And I met Barry Norman's dad because when I was at college, they gave me work experience, and so I said to them, I'm interested in video production. So they put me in Charing Cross Hospital in the video unit department, where I had to video operations, which made me sick to my stomach. And then one day I had to video this guy who had a hole in his neck because he was smoking too much. You know, when you have the hole in your neck and, you know, and it was Barry Norman's dad. It was Barry Norman's dad that we had to video. Yeah, video. So I met him. So there you go. So,
Blimey, man.
Yeah.
But I think, because again, you know, Cameron talked about True Lies because they said obviously it then took off. It just went gangbusters with people loving it.
It's a good movie.
But they said before that, you know, because Last Action Hero came out before True Lies, and Cameron says in the documentary he phoned up Schwarzenegger and he said, how's the film doing? And Schwarzenegger was like, opening weekend, he was like, oh, terrible. And he goes, oh, do you want to do something? And Arnie said, no, I just want to hang out and be by myself. And then Arnie basically pitched it to Cameron, True Lies, because he'd watched, it was based on a French TV series. And basically loved the concept of it. And then Cameron was like, yeah, up for it. And then Cameron also did say as well, he said they talked about doing a sequel, but when he was going through it, he just said, it's just not funny. It's just not funny.
Well, it was it 9/11 or something happened at that moment in time about terrorists, and then they couldn't do it because no studio would touch it. But True Lies is a great movie. I remember seeing that in Leicester Square, and the audience laughed at every joke, and it was like amazing to see him on the horse, and he rides through a hotel lobby, and you're like, what the hell? You know what I mean? It is
Harrier jump jet.
Yeah, Harrier jump jet. Those effects were, for the time, was really good. Really good.
Really good. And one thing I didn't do is I didn't watch the series. Do you remember when they did the series a few years back?
No, yeah.
And they brought back, what's his name? You know, his sidekick, Tom Arnold, to be in it.
Yeah.
I was like, no, not going near that.
Tom Arnold was quite funny in it, actually.
He
was like one of the best things about it, you know. And it is a very good movie. It's a fun movie. That's the thing. And I remember thinking to myself, because even though I love James Bond, I always notice things about James Bond that they never have a good climax. James Bond. If you think about Spy Love Me and the climax, there wasn't really a climax for Spy Love Me. He goes in there, rescues Anna, shoots as what's his name in the balls, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then he has a little fight with Jaws, and then he's out of there. Do you know what I mean? Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies, he's in a Harrier jump jet. I know. And he has that classic line where says, you're fired, and fires the guy in the missile and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's like, that's the kind of climax you need for a James Bond film.
And the nuclear explosion as they kiss at the end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I do, you know, when you bring up Bond, you know, such wonderful times there, you know, again, you got the classic endings with, what was it? I think he's attempting re-entry, sir.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
wonderful.
Moonraker.
Yeah. James, take me around the earth one more time. You know, but we're never going to get that Bond back, are we? That kind of Bond. I think the last real Bond for me was Brosnan. Really,
do you know what?
I was all right with Casino Royale, but
do you know what, John? Do you know what? I can't stand people now at this moment in time where there's so much evidence around, so much evidence that we're buried in evidence when it comes to pop culture. I can't stand it when people say, it might be good. I want to punch them. Do you know what I mean? As if there isn't thousands and thousands of examples of what's going to happen. And I'm telling you now, right? And I hope I'm wrong. Amazon is going to destroy James Bond.
I've said to you before, and we've talked about it before, but I had a lot of reservations when Amazon purchased, to get complete control of Bond, and I did have a feel like it's the end of an era for me. But my heart sunk even further when they did that stupid nonsense with taking the pistol out of the movie posters on Amazon, and it's like, it's not some. They always, every time you hear this, when it goes wild online and people are kicking off about it, and then someone goes, a report, oh, it could have been done. They reckon it could have been done by some rogue HR or marketing person. It's like, no, it's not a rogue marketing person. It's coordinated. That's what they do. And it's like, I still don't understand. If you're going to buy an IP like that, and you're not going to utilize Bond as Bond is, which I suspect they're not going to do. It's just,
look, it's James Bond. Look, this is what they're going to do, right? They're going to hire a young chap to be James Bond. That's what they're going to do. Look, the worst thing they can do is hire a man of color to play James Bond, because that's not James Bond, right? If they do that, they've lost their audience. But bearing that in mind, if they don't do that, they'll hire someone that's young. What they want to do is deconstruct James Bond. I'm telling you now, that's what they want to do. They want to deconstruct him. They want to make him more of how they see the world. James Bond is not going to chat up any girls. He's not going to be fancied by any women in there. He's going to be young. He's probably going to have a black M or something like that, or a black female M or whatever. And it's going to be shit, basically. That's what it's going to be. So,
as Matt McGee says, after seeing what Amazon did with the Rings of Power, I have very little faith that they won't ruin James Bond. Yeah, I agree, mate.
They're going to ruin
it again. If you're right, Bond is a white male, straight white male. That's it. Loves to sleeps with women to get to push his mission further forward. That's what he does, and then he kills the bad guy. If you want to have a black male lead or a black female lead, do another action movie.
Exactly.
But that involves them having to use their imagination and create a new franchise, which they just seem to be. Well, it's lazy now, isn't it? It's just to try and co-opt an existing IP and franchise. For two reasons: one to downgrade it, and two, it's lazy.
What the people that are in charge of Hollywood, and in fact, Netflix, well, not so much Netflix, Amazon, but what they want to do is they want to imprint what they believe the world should be like into pop culture. Fastest way to reach the next generation of people is to infiltrate pop culture, right? And not only pop culture, the educational system as well. And so that's what they're doing. It's the evidence is all around us. If I hear somebody say to me, well, I'm going to punch him. I really am going to punch him. I'm sorry, but you just got to watch the BBC to see what's going on. Do you know what I mean? Just that one channel, and then you can figure it out yourself.
Just everybody look out for a newspaper article tomorrow about someone punching someone at Back to the Future. And then a picture of Ian in handcuffs being put in the back of a police car.
No, it's just it annoys me though. It annoys me though, because when you hear people talk, and
it's the same pattern.
Yeah, especially about Doctor Who, right? When you hear people talk about Doctor Who, especially people that are that they don't see what's going on, they always go, "Wow, they're bringing it back." Yeah, well, it might be good. And it's like, what are you on? What pills are you on? Do you know what I mean? How could you not see what's going on? Do you know? It baffles me.
Yeah, garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, I did laugh earlier because talking about Doctor Who, you've probably seen it as well, but online, someone tweeted that their sources, you know, at Disney had basically said the reason they got rid of it was, you know, bad ratings and the Trump MAGA movement, and it is like, no. It tanked under Biden when Biden was president. It's
Yeah.
got nothing to do with MAGA or Trump. They
No.
weren't watching it anyway.
Yeah, but
those
John, right?
Those supporters.
If you you read Deadline and it's talking about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
You see Dave Cullen, he's talking about Doctor Who. You see Desperate, he's talking about Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Right, it can all be summed up in one word, right, or one sentence. Okay,
I'm
right?
ready. I'm prepared, mate.
They don't have to make a whole video about Doctor Who and about the report. This is one sentence. Doctor Who failed because of woke. Bye, everybody. And then that's it. End of video. Because that is the truth. That is the truth. What more can you say, right? You can say the organization with Disney and BBC didn't work, or you can say Shooty left because he was an idiot, or you can say Russell T, the retardee, is basically wrote a load of bollocks, right? But right at the end of the day, when you chuck out all the shit, the only thing that's left is the word woke, and that is the reason why Doctor Who failed. No other reason. No, because they put shit woke in the show. That's what they did. End of story. You know.
Yeah.
What more can I say?
They ripped out the soul and then they put in the woke soul.
They put the woke in.
That was it. Yeah.
Everything.
And again, you know, again, I laugh at it. We've seen today they've announced December the War Between the Land and the We spin-offs coming, and he's put out one of his usual, it's going to be one of the best ever, blah 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 blah, and it's like, what is it they say? Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And it's been more than twice. So again, we talked about it the other night. You know, we won't go round in circles about it all tonight, but the fact of the matter is, mate. Yeah, the fact of the matter is, you know, they allowed this guy to come back. This guy who has got the worst ratings in history for viewing figures. This guy who was all about grooming the kids and pushing his propaganda. And people, it's like what you were saying a few minutes ago, people that are hoping for the best, you know, and it's like I said to you the other night on the show, for me, it needed to go for a long time for people to miss it, and hopefully a sensible production team to come along in the future. Now that it's coming straight back, even if he goes after this Christmas one, you're going to have his acolytes that take over that are going to do exactly the same thing. So as you've said before, Doctor Who needs to grow up. It won't grow up. It will be the same style. So, you know,
it's going to be rubbish.
It's the worst possible news, isn't it?
No, look, let's use a bit of common sense here, guys. Let's just use a bit of common sense, okay? So, I hire John to make Doctor Who, and John sticks all the woke shit in it and make Doctor Who the gayest.
Hey, come on, mate.
No, I'm just using an example as an example, right? And makes it the gayest show on TV, right? And the Doctor's characters changed, and they changed the origin and all that kind of stuff. And it's obvious that's why it failed. That's why people. Common sense, right? Would I hire John to come back and do the Christmas special since he messed up? It makes no sense. How does that make any sense? The only reason why they're doing it is because they want to save face. They know it failed big time. And if they got someone else in, it would confirm that they failed. That's why they get in Russell T back. That's why.
Yeah.
It's the only reason why.
Again, I brought it up the other night, mate, and you countered it correctly, and you made the point. You know, they're bringing RTD back because, as Brendan had said when he came on, he said his sources had said effectively they were getting him back to clean up the mess so that a new production could take over with a new broom without having to clear up all his mess to start with and then move forward. But the fact of the matter is, you although that apparently he was going to be heavily supervised on what he was writing and what was going to be included, you just don't get him back because a leopard can't change its spots, you know.
No, but as I said, why they're getting him back is because they don't want to admit a failure of Doctor Who. If they got someone else, that speaks volumes, in it, that it's that he's failed, and so that's why they do it, to save face for the BBC.
Yeah.
Now, look, I know that it's probably a long shot to try and save Doctor Who, but right, look, there is a way of doing it so that everybody can be happy, right?
Retcon.
You retcon it, right? And the BBC wants this trans rubbish and stuff like that. You need to take all that crap out if you want people to watch it again. That's the bottom line.
Yeah, and again, Brendan, Sensefair, good to see you, mate. As he said here, he goes plus Bad Wolf still. So Bad Wolf think exactly the same as RTD. So you've then got that problem again. And he says plus Bad Wolf still under contract. RTD paid twice when Sony took over. Why not use RTD in their eyes? Who else would take over a special with all the baggage? That's the problem. And again, it goes back to what you said before, mate. Until they take Doctor Who seriously, it's never coming back. And from all of these signs that they've just announced and all of the press releases, they're not taking Doctor Who seriously, because they've gone straight back to the guy that's knackered it. They've gone straight back to working with him. The BBC don't have any intention of making it a serious science fiction show. It's being diluted every single year to what it was. And again, we've talked about it before. Me and you, I think we kind of bailed out around the same time. Capaldi. I mean,
no, I
came back for a couple of Jodie ones, and I was like, "This is awful," and I went.
I bailed out from the second episode of the Jodie. I saw the one with the spiders, and that was enough for me. Well, I only did that because I was on Brown's channel, and they were reviewing it, and I think it was on Dan's Type 40, and I think I reviewed whatever. I was out, and then they said to me, "Oh, this new guy's starting. This is going to be good. Let's watch the Christmas special." I watched the Christmas special. The moment I saw him dancing in a gay bar, I was like, "This is not going to work. Not going to work." And and then after that episode, after the 3 episodes with David Tennant and that episode, I was out. I didn't watch any more.
100%.
I was gone. I was gone.
Do you know what? I came back for the specials in the 60th, and I was like,
I did too.
Okay, I came back for that, and I thought, right, okay, maybe we're going to get some sensible people doing Doctor Who now. And what happened? I came back for that, the first one, the Star Beast, and my heart sank as soon as we had the whole pronoun nonsense, and then we got to the end with the male presenting Time Lord cobblers, and I was like, well, we know where this is going to go. But even before that, when Shooty was announced, I always remember I think it was a BAFTA event, and Russell T Davies was like cuddled into Russell T Davies. They'd been interviewed, and he had his chest out, and then straight away one of the first things he says was, obviously representation. I was like, it's dead.
No,
because I watched it, but I was hoping the Tennant ones, I'd at least get some good Tennant ones. Then that would be where I bow out, because I thought as soon as I get to Shooty Gatwa, I thought I had a feeling we were going to get what we got. Not as bad as what we got, but I had a spider sense was tingling.
I know, but do you know what, right, guys, in the chat and whoever's watching us, all 11 of you,
20 now, 20, mate, 20.
Do you know what, right? Seriously, what the BBC attempt, it could have worked, right? I'm serious. The Jodie era could have worked if they treated it with respect instead of trying to insult the real fans. They thought that there was this progressive audience that was going to watch the new Doctor Who with this progressive idea, and they're very, very verbal on X. Huge. They're shouting on X, so they're like, we got an audience. But let me tell you something: these people don't give a shit. All they want to do is shout, and then when it comes down to it, they're gone. That's why they didn't watch those episodes, and it was left to the main fans to watch the Jodie era. And when we watched it, we were out. It's not rocket science. Do you know what I mean? It's not rocket science.
It's not. I mean, you know, I still remember, mate. I still remember, and it was
could have worked.
I think it was in the daytime on a Saturday, I think, and I just walked the dog, and I got home, and it was Wimbledon, and the teaser trailer for the new Doctor, and it was Jodie walking through the woods, and again, before you even saw anything, I thought that's a woman's hand, and I thought I'm out. And again, I got so much grief for that, but my view still stands. The Doctor is a male of his species,
he is.
and he's asexual. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't need any of the other rubbish. You know, people can call me whatever they want, but that's my view on the matter. And I thought to myself, okay, even if I give them the benefit of the doubt, what happens just as they're coming up to launch the new season? What do? They did the smug advert where the glass sheet ceiling is shattering and she's smugly laughing at everybody. Shame she didn't get cut to 1,000 pieces. That would have been a good regeneration. But we had that, and then we had another one where she's reading out online responses to her being cast, and she's like taking the mick. Then we had Moffat at Comic-Con basically saying anyone who's got a problem with it lives in their mum's basement, and it's like, this is where they, you know, the saying jump the shark, because they had literally got to the point now where before it even started, they were insulting the very audience that they should have been banking on to watch the show. And Russell T Davies and his crew, when he came in again, they did exactly the same thing, but they pushed it even further.
But this could have worked. It could have worked. Let me ask you a question, John, and let me ask everyone out there, all 20 or 11, says 11 on my thing. And let me ask you, right, if you were in charge to cast a female Doctor, who would you have cast? Right,
I would have gone someone like Helen Mirren.
Okay, no. Well, that's unrealistic, right? I'm talking about in the BBC and ITV realm, right? There are loads of female actors in the BBC realm and the ITV realm, because that's all they could afford. We could wax lyrical about hiring Helen Mirren or, you know, or Julia Roberts or whatever, but this is the problem that they had. Who would you cast as a female Doctor? Anyone? I don't know who I would cast. If Joanna Lumley was younger, I would have cast her, because she's really intelligent. She has that English voice. You know, she's a like, if you all you got to do is look at her in Sapphire and Steel. My God,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Commanding and everything. If she
mate,
was in her prime, I would have cast her. Sorry.
Thing is, mate. No, it's all right, mate. I was going to say, thing is, we've talked about this before, and we talked about it the other day, and I 100% agree with you, because I've had the same thought. If someone had said to me, we're not going to have a female Doctor, but we're going to do a spin-off Romana series, I would have been all over that. I would have been up for it, you know, and all these people that say, oh, you're sexist, blah, blah, blah. I watched Star Trek Voyager. I loved Janeway as a captain. She's so cool. I loved Buffy growing up. You know, it's nothing to do with sexism. It's just not correct. It's not the right. It's going against what Doctor Who is. Romana would have been a very, very good spin-off series. And again, it goes back to what you said. If it was done right, if the writing was on point, if it was cast well, then it would have been a hit. But you're right, with Jodie Whittaker's era as the Doctor, they should have gone. And again, this is the thing with the Shooty thing I'd push as well. Okay, if you're going to go down the diversity route and you're going to go a female Doctor, or you're going to go right Shooty Gatwa afterwards, if you're going to push the diversity, you've got to be bang on with your scripts, you've got to be bang on with your casting, you've got to be bang on with your acting, because the second you go to the lowest rung where you're just talking about the stupid, you know, like you said, dancing in a skirt on a dance floor, you know, it was one of the first scenes. People tune out of that straight away. If you write something intelligent, then people will tune into it, but they didn't do that. It was the lowest rung of writing.
It's not that that I guess that's included. But what I'm saying is that if they said, Ian, right, we want a female Doctor, right? You know, you're in charge, make it work. The first thing I would do is hire someone that we can afford, someone that's good looking, someone that would bring in the main fans and treat her like the Doctor. None of this politics rubbish in there at all, right? There was no reference to the Doctor being female. She fell out of the TARDIS, smashed through a train, which she should have been dead. Right? She gets up and she says, "Oh, is this a tongue?" Do you know what I mean? Rather than, what are these? Do you know what I mean? It's like, what are these? You know, what, I'm a girl now? Do you know what I mean? That kind of thing. None of that. There was no reference to it at all, which there it is. There's a joke right there, but they didn't do it because they were so into their woke crap. Yeah, they didn't even want to reference a male Doctor in that first episode. In every first episode where an actor takes over, they reference the other Doctor always in some small way, right? But this one, they just didn't. They just said she's never been a man. You know what I mean? That's what they were saying to us. It was ridiculous. So they're not treating it with any respect whatsoever. It could have worked. It really could have worked really well, right? Really, really, if they cast well and they had decent scripts and they didn't have all this woke crap in there, you know.
100%. And I think one of the worst cases of professional vandalism and pure vindictiveness was their Timeless Child, where they did that. And they, you know, people talk about Star Trek, they talk about the other franchises, but this has been by far the most damaged and probably irreparable, because, you know, when you talk about how bad it is, when you're sitting there and there's literally a regeneration scene where you're seeing every single race and ethnicity that the Doctor supposedly is regenerating into, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, please somebody put it out of its misery. It literally needs to be put to sleep now because it is that bad. And again, they've just carried it on. It's coming back for this one, but I don't know if it's going to do particularly well for Christmas, because I think people are fed up with it. You know,
people are gonna watch it. It probably hit a million and a bit, and that's it. Really, people are gonna watch it for curiosity. All the YouTubers gonna be watching for curiosity. That's what's gonna happen, right? But I'm at the mindset that I will never watch it under that management, right? I don't care. I don't make YouTube channels about Doctor Who anyway, so I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna watch it, right? And I think the majority of fans should speak with their viewing habits. If you don't like Doctor Who's current state, don't watch it. Right? Don't come up to me and say, I watched it and I thought it was bad, because you'll just get slapped from me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a real Doctor Who fan. You shouldn't be watching this shit because it's not Doctor Who.
No.
Right?
No.
So, anyway, I'm just joking off.
No, I mean, it's just, I think the only thing that excites me as a Doctor Who fan of late is being the announcement that they've probably found missing episodes of Doctor Who and the season 13 Blu-ray box set that I got through. Yeah. That's it. That's my joy of Doctor Who, because that's proper Doctor Who. You know, I'm quite happy now. My mind is basically cut off Jodie onwards and basically saying it's not even the same show now. That bit where Capaldi says, "I let you go."
Doctor, I let you go.
Yeah, that's it. I have. That's it. I've done some reviews of it, but I've not been, how can I put it? I've not been emotionally engaged to it like I was.
It's a shame. Before. It's a shame about Capaldi, because he came in the era where it was transitioning, so to speak, into something that wasn't Doctor Who. Do you know what I mean? So it's a shame, because he grew on me. My favorite episode is Mummy on the Orient Express. I love that episode. I think that's a really good episode. And the bank heist one I thought was good as well. So he was coming into his own. And I remember watching that superhero Christmas one, and I hated it. I remember the first time I hated it. And then one day I was watching TV and it was being reshown again on some obscure channel. And I watched it. And the reason why I liked it the second time round is because of what's his name? Who's the assistant in that? Matt Lucas. What's Matt Lucas's character called? Odo? Oh, whatever his name is. What's his name?
It's been a
I
while.
can't remember his name, but
But
anyway,
I've forgotten.
they made a really
I know
good
you mean,
double,
the robot.
they made a really good double act, both of them in
Yeah.
that superhero one. And that's the reason why I liked it the second time around when I was watching it, because I was so upset about how logic didn't work for me when I first got Nardole. So this is what I was saying about John. This is what I was saying about Doctor Who should grow up, right? It starts off where he's on the roof, okay, and the little boy comes in, he goes, "Hold this," right? Because he's got a cold. And the boy swallows it. It's like, no kid's gonna swallow that. Do you know what I mean?
No.
What kind of stupid logic is this? You know, it just, the whole thing was just rubbish. You know,
I think you're right, and I think that it started to get to that point. But then, like Capaldi's era, there were some great episodes. I mean, I really like Oxygen, and it's the one where they're at the space station, they're being rationed oxygen by the corporate company. You know, and it's basically the body still carries on even when you die. That was quite a good, like, Capaldi story, and he ends up blind at the end of it. But I think that's when I sort of tuned out of it. But as Julie Coonan said in the chat, mate, she said about is that the season 13? Is that the Blu-ray box set they've been talking about with the dodgy AI? Yes, it is. I haven't experienced it yet, and I think I said to you the other day, mate, as well, because I'm getting older and I'm wearing glasses a lot more, and my peepers aren't as good as they used to be. I haven't actually seen it myself yet because I'm not
well,
you know, but I think they're talking about, there's a few screenshots people have put out where like Tom Baker's curly hair's got almost kind of like a line round it, almost like it's been photoshopped, and you know what I mean, that sort of thing.
I haven't seen it, but for someone to actually stop a frame and get a magnifying glass to go, wait a moment, that isn't Tom Baker's teeth. What's going on?
I mean, I grew up in the 80s with the VHSs, you know.
Yes,
and they degraded over time. So I was watching it with all the lines across the screen and everything. So I'm happy. I'm happy, you know.
Look, AI is going to get better when it comes to actually taking the digital format and making it better. Like, you know what you could do with AI now, and I've seen it done. You can literally take a clip from a movie, and then once it stops, you can tell AI to finish it off, and you could write a script saying finish it off, and it would finish it off by taking the elements of the like Garbage does it all the time. If you go to Garbage Channel,
check it out, everyone.
He takes clips from Doctor Who, and then he tells the AI to make, you know, Peter Davison do this, and it will take that clip and make Peter Davison. So, and it's not too good, because when they turn, you can tell their face changes. The AI tries to copy the person's face, but it can't quite do it. But
it's speeding up, isn't it?
Yeah, this is now. Imagine in the next 4 years how that would be better. Do you know what I mean? So it is possible to do that. Now, the question is, the missing, there's a very famous Doctor Who story that only half of it's there and the rest is missing. You know the one I'm talking about. I can't even remember what it was called.
You're talking about Dalek Master Plan?
I think so. So imagine, imagine in the next 10 years, somebody could write a script and tell AI to finish it based on the clips that exist.
Well, you're absolutely right. And, you know, again, this leads in also, mate, a nice little segue, because I don't know if you've seen, but, you know, Amazon have announced yesterday, and Paramount, they're laying off thousands. I think Amazon are laying off something like 30,000 people.
Because they got AI to do their jobs.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's all coming, you know. And again, you've talked about it before, about, you know, AI affecting your job and what you do. You know, it's moving so quick that you're right. Within a few years, it'll be quite extraordinary in what they can do. I mean, there are studios being set up now, aren't they? Movie studios that are just AI productions. So what else are we going to get in the next few years?
The thing is, I think I'm hoping in the future that AI will work in tandem with real people. So the only reason why, I mean, I've used a bit of AI in Rebecca Gold to extend sets, because you obviously, like, you know, with a budget that I have, you know what I mean, it's ridiculous to try and compete, but you can use it cleverly. So I'm hoping in the future, when it comes to filmmaking, that the filmmakers, especially the low budget filmmakers, could take what's existingly shot and add to it, rather than make a whole film that's made in AI. Because I they're going to get better. I don't know whether that's going to be the way of the future, but I think people want to see real people on screen. They want to see the mistakes, they want to see the imperfections, and all AI do is correct things. Like as you were saying, John, with Tom Baker's hair and Tom Baker's teeth. AI is like, no, those teeth don't work, and they fixed his teeth. Do you know what I mean? So,
exactly.
It's the imperfections that make us human.
Well, you're absolutely right, but we've talked about it before, mate. But in a few years, you're going to get, you're going to get to a point where you're probably going to say to an AI, a movie production, you're going to go, right, give me this action movie, but I want Chuck Norris playing the main character in it, and it will do it. It will sync up all the dialogue and everything, and then,
but
it's not real.
Not if Disney wins the case, because if AI is not allowed to copy something of existing copyright, then it will have nothing to be to base anything on. So, I think it was William Shatner's given his rights over to some company, so an AI company could recreate him when he's gone and use his voice. So the only way to do that is to the actor's consent. So what if Disney wins that court case, which they should do, because AI is taking their property and gaining money from it. Like you got thousands of people on YouTube that using stormtroopers, the Diary of the Stormtrooper and stuff like that. That's Disney's property. So that's what I'm saying. So once that court case is done and it's been solidified, then hopefully AI wouldn't be able to take anything from anywhere for copyright reasons, obviously.
I mean, obviously, me and Ian have already signed those deals so that Sci-Fi Chronicles will go on with me and Ian after we're long gone. So
you know what? We're not even real. This is AI right here.
yeah. Well, we are avatars. We do not exist in the.
Look how many fingers I've got. Look, there you go.
Yeah.
So
And if you look at Ian's hair, he's got a little line round.
That's right. There you go. Yeah. So no, I hope that AI can work in tandem with with filmmakers and like I've always said this, right? Before the advent of digital filmmaking, the door was closed to people like us, right? Yes, I managed to make a film on Super 16. I'd shot a lot of stuff in 35, but I was part of another production. It wasn't my production. To actually buy 35mm film to make a film was just out of anyone's price range, unless you're a big studio, unless you're rich, unless you're middle class or rich, right? So when 60mm was, I shot a movie on 60mm, but when digital came in, right, it was far cheaper to shoot digitally, especially when they got the technology right, and it was poor people just gravitated towards it. VHS-C, we had people shooting on VHS and you know what I mean? And then digital came along.
Yeah.
So things like AI, it's like it's not good, but it's good for people like us who don't have any money, not part of the film industry.
Just want to tinker and sort of experiment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But what I would say is I disagree in making a whole thing in AI. You can do it if you want, but I wouldn't do it, because I believe in the authenticity and human beings and little problems and little mistakes along the way and stuff like that, which makes it all human. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I was going to say to you, mate, on another subject, were you a fan of watching The Witcher on Netflix?
Did you watch? I've never watched it. I've never watched it.
Well, they recast Cavill with Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the title of the review from The Guardian. Okay,
go ahead.
It's just launched. It says, The Witcher Season 4 review. Liam Hemsworth is as charismatic as a bollard in a wig.
Oh, dear. Oh dear. You know what? I
Yeah,
mean, I watched the John Candy documentary, which is great.
that's
By
on
the
the
way.
list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I Like Me. It's called. I think it's a really good
yeah.
documentary. John Candy. I'm going to start watching the Charlie Sheen one, which I haven't seen. Um, there isn't any. I've been watching the Tulsa King, which is okay now. The first season was great. Second season was I think this is the third season. It's kind of flagging a bit, but it's just, as I said, it's just to for me. I have to look deep to find something that I can watch these days.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah, I mean, Mum keeps saying to me, I need to watch it. It's the was it Strange Horses on Apple?
Slow
Mum's really
Horses.
enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Slow
it's good.
Horses, yeah,
It's good. Yeah, it's
yeah.
good. It's good.
So I need to
Yeah, you
get
should watch it.
watching that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think she's just almost. I think she's finished the latest seasons. Just
All right.
she's got to the last episode, but I
Yeah.
keep walking in every time. She's like, "Oh, so good! You got to watch it." And
Yeah,
I
it's
was like,
good.
"Okay,
It is good.
it's on the list. I'm going to do
Yeah,
it without a
it is
doubt."
good. It's very
Um,
good. I
but
watched season 1 and 2 on a plane when I was going to Wichita. I watched season 1 and 2, and I really
he's a
loved it.
jet setter. Everyone, he's not in his room right now. He's on his luxury plane. He's just put a
green screen.
backdrop.
Green
Yeah.
screen. No, seriously, it's. I recommend it if you guys want to watch something. I recommend it. Definitely recommend it. What else I've been watching? I've been watching. I watched this a film on Netflix called Watch the Skies. I think it's
Yeah.
a Norwegian movie.
Yeah.
The reason I watched it was because Film Threat said it was good. I didn't think much of the film, to tell you the truth, but they also mentioned in Film Threat that they did AI on it. So basically, the film is a Swedish film, I think, and obviously it's speaking a different language, but they used AI to sync their mouths with the dub.
Okay.
So
Blimey.
every person in that film's mouth is synced with the dub. So it doesn't look like it's dubbed at all. It's like they're actually saying the words that are coming out. And it's pretty amazing.
Oh, check it out. I mean, maybe they should go back to Whedon's Justice League version, and the AI can fix that really bad lip that Cavill's got in it.
Oh God Almighty! Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. As I said, that was, if the film was okay. It wasn't. I thought it was going to be better than that. It wasn't. It was
Yeah.
just okay. So watch it if you want, I guess.
And did Matt McGee said, he said apparently Landman's pretty good on Paramount.
Yeah, I got to catch up with that.
That's Billy Bob Thornton, isn't it? That one.
Yeah.
That's the oil one, isn't it?
Yeah. Apparently.
Because as we were saying the other day, the guy, heads it up. I forget his name now, but the guy who created
Taylor Sheridan.
That's it. Yeah, he's off to Universal, isn't he? He's on his way. But I saw today that there was it's going around that apparently he's writing a Call of Duty movie before he goes. So with him, it might be decent. I mean, if they just focus on a good action movie, then it'll work, But I just I'm still curious to see what's going to happen with Warner Bros. As well. One
of my favorite studios, but it's done for now. Do you remember when the advent of Betamax and VHS, and they used to? So basically, they used to send you booklets through the post, and we used to get the Warner Brothers one, and you used to have a little booklet. It was really quite nicely designed, and you open the booklet, and it used to show you all the films that are being put on VHS in the next few months. You'd see like Dirty Harry, and you turn the page and it's like The Enforcer, and all these films, Warner Brothers, and you just get really excited because in those days, right? Yeah, today you can just go on some site and download it or upload it or whatever. But in those days, right, it was physical. It was like you could own that. You know, it's a movie. It's like Dirty Harry. You could literally own that.
But
You know what I mean?
that's
The excitement.
but that the same thing, mate, is, you know, when I was a kid as well, that excitement of we're getting nearer to Christmas, and
Oh
I'd go
God,
in
yeah.
Woolworths, I'd go in WH Smith's, I'd go in HMV, and they'd all have their Christmas catalogues out with all of the
Yeah.
films that were out or coming out that you could buy. And I'd be literally going home saying, right, mum and dad, I want that, I want that, I want that, you know. And I still remember, you know, going out with mum and my brother and sister shopping in Bristol. And I remember, you know, mum going into WH Smith's and buying me Batman Returns on VHS because it had just been released before Christmas. And I was like, I've got to wait a few weeks before I can stick that in the recorder and just crack on with it, you know. Just great times. And again, I don't think, again, it's like you say, it's a different generation. They don't have that excitement because we grew up with the physical media, and it was the same for me with gaming. You know, with gaming, you always, when you bought a game, it had beautiful artwork on the box. You know, and like you say, you get a booklet in the gaming box as well, like almost describing that world that you were going to go into, you know.
Do you know
with
what,
the discs.
right?
Yeah.
You know what, right? So when I was 17, 18, or I don't know how old I was, 17, 18 maybe, my dad used to have a friend called Ray, right? And he used to come around every Saturday with a suitcase. He used to open the suitcase and he had all these pirate videos. And one day he came round, right? This is no lie. He came round and he had E.T. before the film was released in the cinema. Right? And he said, "Do you want E.T.?" And we'd heard of it. And we said, yeah, could we watch that? Because we were renting it from him. Anyway, right? When I was at secondary school, we had this thing called the video club, right? And me and my friend Eddie and Andre, we used to have the video club. So you remember those TVs we had to hold the door open like that? So it was on the wheels and it was like wooden. So basically we had the VHS video and we used to wheel it in, and we put posters everywhere saying, and only like 5 people used to turn up. We used to watch, you know, films like we watched Rollerball one time, and after school, it was an after school event. Any money we made, we had to give it to the school. And so I had ET, right? And so I said to my teacher, I said, "Look, I've got ET. Can I show it at the video club?" And my teacher went, "You've got ET." And I said, "Yeah, it's here. I've got it in my hand." And he went, "You're going to show ET?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Okay, you can show it." And he went off. And then when I was leaving, right after my class, I was leaving, he runs up to me and he says, "Ian, can I have a copy of ET?" Right. So I had to make a copy for him, right?
Yeah.
And then the next day, so we were going to show it on the Friday, and I showed him on the Wednesday. So my dad copied it, and I gave it to him on the Thursday. And when I gave it to him on the Thursday, 5 other teachers was asking me, "Ian, have you got ET? Can you make us a copy?" And I was making copies for it. This is obviously illegal, right, at the time, because all in the news. It was all in the news. The ET, the copy was. So I made 5 copies for the teachers, and I told everybody I'm showing ET, right, because nobody was interested. I turn up, right. We set the TV up. I turn up, and the classroom was packed. People were trying to pile in to see ET, and it was like a small little screen. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Do you know? Again, this is obviously what taught us morals when we were growing up. Teachers that just turned a blind eye to sort of pirate VHSs. But on the same subject, it was end of term at Christmas. And they like, there was nothing left for them to teach us until the new term started after the Christmas holidays. So they go, right, okay, put a VHS movie on, and they just and it was great. You could sit in the class, all of you, and then just literally watch a movie. And like you say, I was about 12, and in our class, some kid brought in Predator 2. And the teacher just goes, "Yeah, stick it on. It's fine." So we're sat there. The teacher's just like, you know, they're not bothered at this point. You know, he's just reading a book at his desk with his feet up, you know. And we're watching Predator 2 with like people being savaged, like in an apartment block, you know, loving every moment of it. And this teacher's just completely oblivious to it. It's like different time.
I'll go one better than you, right? So before the advent of VHSs and Betamax tapes, same time, Christmas time, and they so basically it was, I can't remember, it was like in the afternoon after lunch, everybody was told to go to the activities hall. Activities hall is this big hall where they do play. Okay. So we all went to activities hall. Everyone in the school went to activities hall, and they had the projector up. They had the 60-minute projector up, and the teacher came out and he said, right, you're going to watch your film, lads, enjoy the film. And do you know what it was? It was the wild geese, right? The wild geese they showed us on Super 16, right?
Genius.
The wild geese. It's so violent, especially when it gets to South Africa. There was us. I can't remember how old I was. I think I was like in the 3rd year. There's me sitting there watching some guy's guts being pulled out and stuff like that. And they showed us the wild geese. I couldn't believe it. It's like, this is a Catholic school we're talking about here. I'm like, what the?
Yeah, but you know what, mate? It's like school trips as well in the 80s. School trips, when you go on the coach and they had the video recorder strapped up the top of the TV, you know, and we would be on a school trip, and the bus driver, coach driver, he just put in a movie. Like the teachers are sat at the front. All of a sudden, we're on the journey. We're watching Crocodile Dundee, you know, and they just didn't care at those times. But Matt McGee just brought up, he goes, either of you chaps ever watched the original Quantum Leap? A 90s time travel show. I thought it was really well written. 2022 continuation was horrible though. I never went to the sequel because I thought
one episode enough for me.
Yeah, and I thought, even before I heard that there was like a trans character in it, I was like, I'm not going there. And the reason being is the original had great writing, but the chemistry between Dean Stockwell and Bakula was fantastic, and you can't replicate that. So I've got the set. I watch it regularly. It's just an absolute joy for me. And I will say this, and I'm going to get your view on this, Ian, as well. When all of these, these ideologically captured writers, they try and write diverse shows now, I always go back and always bring up the example of Quantum Leap. And there's that episode where he leaps into the body of a black man in the deep south in, what was it, the 40s or 50s? Very well written. You care about the characters in that story and what he's doing. They can't write at that level. And again, we grew up, I didn't care about what the skin color was or anything. I just thought about right and wrong at that time. And I just thought, this story's making me think. Whereas now they tell you what to think, and it was a great time. We don't have that caliber of writers anymore, do we? Or if we do, they're not allowed to work in the industry.
Yeah, I mean, what's going on now was, with pop culture being as it is, they did I don't know if you heard of the Tomorrow People. When I was a kid, they had a show called The Tomorrow People, and it was like basically ITV's answer to Doctor Who, but it was a kids show. It was like during the kids' hour. It had an episode where basically I think it was called Blue and the Red. And so it was about these people wearing badges. It was blue or it was red, and they would have fights because they were wearing the right badge, whatever. And I think that was their way of talking about discrimination and separation and stuff like that. It was a really good episode before it went really stupid. But that's in those days, right? They would teach you something, but they teach you the right way. There was no trans guy dressed in a dress telling you about it. Do you know what I mean? Like today. So it was really intelligent stories. And even I would go as far as to say Blake Seven and Doctor Who, because they didn't have the budget to do the effects, that didn't matter. Their stories were the things that carried it along. Do you know what I mean? So there you go.
And Komodo's here. Good to see you. I don't think we've seen you here before, so thanks very much for turning up tonight. But yeah, social engineering has turned up to 11. It certainly has, and I mean, we've talked about it before, but I don't think it's going away. I just think it's all been rebadged, and it's here to stay now, sadly. Yeah, like the Drazi fights on Babylon 5 between purple and green ribbon sides. Yeah, different time, Yeah. Good to see you, Doug. I haven't seen you for a while. I hope you're doing well, my friend. Yeah, it absolutely, obviously referred to your Tomorrow People comments.
Yeah, it is again, right? What can I say? Okay, because look, we're aware of this, which is a good thing. Okay, and if we're aware of it, you can bet your bottom dollar, as my dad would say, that millions of people are aware of it as well. All we have to do is talk about it, which is what me and John are doing, and hopefully reach more people. Therefore, trying to stop it. Do you know what I mean? Because you can't tell me it's right to have someone bloke with makeup on reading to kids of 5 about trans in a book. How could that be right? Kids of 5 and 6 should not be talking about sex.
Yeah, and when you're an adult, fill your boots, do what you want to do.
Absolutely. And also, you can't tell me it's right that a man with a penis can go into a woman's toilet where there's kids of 12, some kids who are just going through their period, girls and stuff, having problems. They're going to feel really uncomfortable if there's a grown man using the same. Do you know what I mean? That's not right.
100%. And do you know what I always find with these people going, we should have rights to go and do this? No, you shouldn't, because it only takes one. Takes one to go in and abuse somebody, and that's it.
They have been, but they kept it out.
Yeah, but I mean, it only takes one of them to go into the at a time, and then someone's life is changed forever. That's why they need safeguards to protect women and children. That's what needs to happen, and that's how it should be. It shouldn't, for me, it shouldn't even be a controversial discussion. It should even be common sense.
Yeah, it should not even be a discussion. But this is how far this is actually affecting people's lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, anyway, I mean, we're here to talk about pop culture, and pop culture is getting infiltrated by this nonsense. But all we can do is just talk about it. The more we talk about it, hopefully, more people's eyes would open and ears would open. That's the reason why. Yeah.
And I also wanted to say a big thank you to everyone, because me and Ian, just like we were chatting earlier, and we went, should we just go live? Because like Ian always says, if we're talking about stuff, we might as well just go live and talk about it with all of you and see if you turn up. So, and you have, and if you haven't already, please like the show and please subscribe, because we want to do more stuff like this. And I always have a good laugh with Ian when we're on these things, and we talk about a lot of stuff. It hurts me when I try and give him too much praise. It really eats away at me. But I mean, I think Robert Payne has just said, when he was 6, you were watching $6 Million Man and Charlie's Angels. Just simpler times, and again, I know people will always throw at you going, it's because you're old and you're thinking about nostalgia. No, I generally do think it was simpler and better times for me. The quality of stuff on the telly.
They were, right. And just before I go into one, I'd just like to say, is it possible to hit the like button, but also is it possible to make a comment? Because when you make a comment, YouTube recommends the channel. So if you can make a comment, even if it's you're stupid, Ian. We hate you, Ian. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. Just make a comment. But anyway, talking about Charlie's Angels and stuff like that, the difference between then and now is that they actually made Charlie's Angels go. They wanted good-looking girls in the show. How many times you watch a BBC episode where if you've got a police woman in it, she's obese or she's not that good looking? And it's like,
the new Wilma Deering for butt watches, basically.
If I wanted to see that, all I need to do is go out of my door, outside my door, and just walk down the road. I want to be taken away somewhere else when I'm watching TV shows. Do you know what I mean?
Well, we joked the other day about the fact that, you know, Star Trek Discovery, you've got Tilly in a disco shirt, like pretending she's running around a deck. We all know she's not running around a deck. She's going straight back to her room and getting another 5 packs of curly whirlies out. That's what's happening.
John is so old fashioned. Curly whirlies. Oh my gosh, I've never heard that chocolate since about 10 years ago. I think.
Yeah. Well,
still selling, I think
that they still sell them. But you remember when you were kids, they were like massive.
Yeah.
Now they're like that.
What about wagon wheels? Do you remember them? Wagon wheels were as big as my hand. And now they're like tiny. Wagon small wheels, they should call it. It's
yeah. And it's
absolutely ridiculous.
It's like, it's even though like, when you used to grow up, you used to have like Mars bars were massive.
Yep. Massive.
So much so they release fun sized ones. They called them fun size, which were they're just a bit smaller than what you actually get nowadays, you know.
In those days, we used to eat so much sugar. You would not believe how much sugar we used to eat. Like, you used to have 10 pence and used to go into the shop and you used to look and used to say to the person behind the counter, I want those cola cubes. I want that licorice and stuff like that. They put it all in and they weigh it, don't they? And they put it in a bag and then you pay you'd stuff yourself with sugar. It was just sugar everywhere. Yeah.
But it's like when you went to the cinema though as well, and you were like, you got your pick and mix before you went in. And just even before you put the bag on the scales, you thought to myself, right, I'm gonna have to sell the car for this because this is gonna cost me a fortune.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Yeah. No, seriously, sweets were, I mean, I remember there was a drink called Cresta, right? I don't know if you remember it, John. It was a drink called Cresta, and they took it off the market because it was like 50% sugar.
Yeah.
It was. They might as well just sell us a bag of sugar. Do you know what I mean? It was madness. Absolutely.
Well, I don't even know if they do it anymore. But when I used to, you know, as a kid, and we used to go to like a church Christian camp, and we also used to go to Cub and Scout camps. Me and my brother, and they always had the tuck shop.
Oh yeah,
you know, you'd go in there and you'd get a bottle of Corona.
Corona,
fizzy drink. You know, that's just about enough to last you 7 years. And take it back to your tent, and you've got like you said, pick and mix to last you forever. And ridiculous. It's like you'd be probably safer, and you'd probably be less high if you were just injecting heroin or something in your tent.
Also,
than all the sweets you're eating at the time.
Also, right, I was shopping last week, and I was like, you know what? I haven't had sugar puffs in ages. So I was looking on the shelf for sugar puffs, right? I don't know if you guys remember sugar puffs. And it's not called sugar puffs anymore. It's called Honey Monster. No, it's called Monster, right? So it doesn't have any sugar in it anymore. And it just tastes awful, right? And I was like, what? Why? Do you know what I mean? I guess because of the sugar, I guess.
It's sugar. Funny enough, I said to Mum the other day, because like Sainsbury's, I don't know if you remember them, but they used to always do, they were the like shortbread biscuits that you put in your biscuit tin.
Yeah.
And they were always fantastic. And you eat them now and it tastes like a dog biscuit because they've got rid of all the sugar. It's gone. But I mean, again, we had so much, but you know, I mean, the stuff.
Do you remember, John? I don't know if you, again, right? Anyone in the audience remembers this? I can't remember what it was called, right? But you had a little, kind of like a little toilet roll thing, and it was all wrapped up, and you had a licorice that went through it, and inside was sherbet.
Yeah,
and then you pull out and you eat the licorice and the sugar in the sherbet. And you just
the powder,
keep eating the powder sherbet.
Sherbet dip.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
That. My God, that was not good for you either.
Oh no, what? But again, you also had the time, you know, in those periods where you get the salt and shake crisps.
Oh God, yes.
So you'd have the plain ones, but you have the little sachet of salt, and literally, it always went wrong for me. So it always had like 4 crisps that were just caked in salt.
But again, right, growing up, when I was growing up, it was very different to growing up kids now, because obviously they're addicted to their phones. But we were just addicted to playing, playing out. I remember when I was 10, because I live in a council estate, we used to go out and I used to meet my friends, and some of them had bikes and some of them didn't. There was my friend named Roger. He had a chopper bike and he used to ride it around the estate. And Roger was a huge fan of Star Wars. He could quote anything that Han Solo said. In those days, remember, you didn't have any VHSs or Betamax, and the only way to see Star Wars is go in the cinema and watch it. And Roger used to watch this film every Saturday. So he knew every word. His favorite character was Han Solo. He knew every word that Han Solo said. He would say, and he would ride his chopper bike around the block.
Brilliant.
That's what I'm saying. It was a very different time.
It was. I mean, it was like me in the 80s, mate. I had, me and the friends around the area. We used to go off on our bikes, our BMXs, and this was when CB radios come in. But the kids CB radios, and it's like you like 10-4 breaker, that sort of thing, and you try and go as far as you could.
Though, weren't they?
Yeah, they were
that size. Yeah. Yeah,
you'd go off on your bike, sort of like, I'm connected now. I've got my CB with me. Fun times. And then you'd literally go to the BMX track. I don't know if they still do them anymore, but literally ours were just dirt patches where it's like a disused construction site where they built a mound and said, there you go, there's your BMX track. And every week you were seeing a kid going off to A&E with a broken leg and a crumpled BMX.
I remember so me and my friends used to meet up on a Saturday, because in those days they used to let us, my parents used to let us out, and we'd come back when the street lights were going off, obviously. So we used to meet up with our friends. I think it was 10 of our friends from school. We used to meet up. We used to play a game of tag, right? We used to play it every Saturday, right? And then one day, right, it got so popular that one day we had, I think it was over 100 kids playing tag. And it was exciting. Do you know why it was exciting? Because where I lived, there were blocks of flats. There were like 5 blocks of flats in a row. One person was on it, and everybody scattered into the blocks of flats, right? So this one person had to find 100 people in the blocks of flats.
They're still there.
It literally was like Alien. Do you know what I mean? Like you're walking around the corridor on the 5th floor, and you'd see him coming. You'd see him coming. And you had to literally, it was so exciting, but they stopped us from doing it because the neighbors started complaining that we were running down their corridors and stuff. So the police used to stop us from doing it. But when we did it, it was such an amazing game. I mean, 100 kids, man, 100. And then when somebody got tagged, it was 2 people. Once it was 10 people, and you didn't even know who was on it. It's like walking through the dark and there's an alien somewhere. It was thrilling. It was scary. It was just really fun.
Brilliant times. Really. But I always remember the comedian Mickey Flanagan when he's talking about the 70s and 80s, and when you were playing football and it'd be the sign would be up, no ball games.
Oh yeah,
and he'd be like, yeah, but the dog can have a clear out on the field though. That's all right, but we can't play football.
Yeah, I mean, they just ignored around where I live. They just ignored. There's a sign. There's like a big brick wall, and it says no ball games. And I see kids kicking balls up against the wall. They just ignore it. I mean, I think it's ridiculous to stop kids from playing out. Really, I mean, most kids are on their phones now, so they don't play out. They don't know about community. When you were young, you were telling me you used to play football like every Saturday with your friends and stuff. Like that's community.
Gone for 8 hours, just knocking the ball about. It's great fun. It's mad, man. And it's like I was going to say as well about as a kid in the 80s, Mum would go into the garage to get like potatoes out to cook a roast, and she'd have little holes in them because I had a spud gun.
Yeah.
So I just, so she was always cooking potatoes with loads of imprints of a spud gun in them.
Oh dear.
Because I'd gone to war.
No, it's just, as I said, it's incredible the stuff that we used to do when we were young. I remember the first video store opened around where we lived, and it wasn't Blockbuster, because it was just a person that opened this store, and there was no certificates in those days. You used to go in there, and they had pirate videos to the left, Betamax to the right, VHS to the left. I remember getting Superman 2. I went up there and I said, "Have you got Superman 2?" And they said, "Oh yeah, what do you want it on?" Because we had a Betamax machine. So our Betamax, and I said, "Oh, you're in luck. It's here." Gave it, pay my quid or whatever it was, or 75 pence. Go home. Terrible copy of Superman 2, but you should sit there and watch it.
Oh,
but,
you would.
Yeah.
I think even before Blockbusters in the 80s, like in our town, I remember the first video store coming to the town, and it was called Whirlwind Videos.
Oh, right.
And Mum always used to take us in there in the summer holidays and the Christmas holidays and go, right, okay. Basically, she'd had enough of us for the day. So she thought, if I get them a VHS movie, that'll give me some peace and quiet for a few hours. So you'd go in there. And again, I miss that wonderful moment of stepping into a video store, and you've got the cardboard cutouts of the movie characters in there when you went in. It's just as it was starting to kick off with video stores, and you'd walk round and they're all nicely laid out. It was a great time, And then I remember going in there when Nightmare on Elm Street came out, and the guy, it terrified me. I wanted to go in, but I didn't want to go in because the guy behind the counter was watching Nightmare on Elm Street. He was clearly nothing much was going on. He was doing his shift. So he was watching Nightmare on Elm Street, but they had a full life-size cardboard cutout of Freddy Krueger in the store as well. So, memories like that, pure class.
I used to work for Blockbuster Video. I had a 3 days a week. I used to work for Blockbuster Video, and people always used to ask me to recommend films, which is that's when I realized I wanted to be part of the film industry, but I didn't realize what part of the industry I wanted to be part of. Do you know what I mean? So when I was at school, when I had the film club, it was fascinating me because I just used to watch the kids watching the film and seeing what reactions they would make. And I would learn off that, see what reaction they'd make when they're watching the film, because I'd already seen the film. Do you know what I mean? So I learned that way as well.
I think also, mate, as a kid, when I was talking about cinema parties, you also had movie birthday parties where your mum and dad would take you to the store and get a VHS, and then your friends would be invited round to sit and watch it with you and have the birthday cake, have a McDonald's at the same time, something like that. And that's what you did. Oh, it's great.
You did it. I didn't live.
I did it. Yeah.
No, the first film we ever brought, and it was me and 5 friends. We had to save up to get it. Was Enter the Dragon. Do you know how much it cost? We got it on Betamax. 75 quid it cost. We saved up 75 quid just to get the actual film itself, and it was a 4:3. It was pan and scan. It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Mum and dad had a Betamax upstairs in their room, and they had a VHS downstairs in the lounge at the time. So that was when you were renting it from Radio Rentals.
Well, so what was it? The Clack Clack VHSs? Was the TriStar? Was it that their top loader? Did it used to come up?
Yeah, so later it came up, and you wanted to make sure that when you pressed that eject button, you got your arm out of the way because that thing hurt when it came up.
Yeah.
Literally, broken arm.
Ferguson TriStar, they were called. Yeah, we had a Sony. So my dad believed in Betamax. He said it was a better picture, the quality of pictures better, and it was. So we had a Sony C5, we had a Sony C6, we had 2, silver one and a green one, C5 and a C6. So we had one in the living room and one in the bedroom. So we could just watch films all day. So
I mean, so good. But again, that was the one where we had it. It was the first one. And it was, it's funny looking back at it now, but the remote control from it wasn't remote. It was wired to the VHS recorder, wasn't it? So you had to make sure you were controlling it and warn people not to trip over it as they came in the lounge.
You know what was really funny? Because I was telling you about my dad's friend, Ray. So when he used to give us films, right, obviously he had recorded on tapes. So the film that we got, one week we got Cannonball Run. And it was really good picture, Cannonball Run, before it got into the
Yeah.
cinema. But what we discovered, because like there's 7 of us, there's 7 in my family, 7 kids in my family. What we discovered is that once the film was recorded on that tape, there was obviously something recorded before it. So when we watched the film, we used to zoom past the credits, and 9 times out of 10, it was the end of a porno. We'd be sitting there going, "What's this? What's this?" Because you know when, I don't know if you remember VHSs or tapes. So when you went past it, it used to go fuzz, didn't it? And then suddenly it reveals the picture underneath, doesn't it? And it's like,
that's right.
Yeah, and you used to see and it was always a porno. It was always a porno that Ray used to record over. So there you go.
Do you know what? Do you know what? We had a later VHS store that we used to go in, and where instead of having the empty cases where you took them to the counter and then you put the VHS tape in to take it away, they used to have them in the cassettes actually on the shelf.
Oh, right.
And me and some mates at the time, we'd go in there and we'd pull down like the porn ones from the top shelf and we'd swap the cassettes. So I think one of them we put Honey, I Shrunk the Kids in there.
You know,
so some guy got home.
do you know another thing? Okay, right. So as my love for VHSs and Betamax. So my friend rented Blade Runner. I think it was Blade Runner from Blockbuster. And this is before Blockbuster caught on. And what he did was he recorded Blade Runner, because this is before they put the bug in the tapes. I think it was Blade Runner, some famous film he recorded. And what he used to do was he has to unscrew the tapes, right? And take the back off. Once you learn how to do it, it's very easy. Take the recording, put it into the other one, and take the original and put it into his cassette and screw it back to Blockbuster Video. And people used to do that all the time. And then when they caught on, that's the reason why they had the little sticker that went over the break, isn't it? Because if
that's right,
then it would go a different color if you broke the seal.
That's it.
And then they started creating the bugs in the tape, so you couldn't record it. You used to have a signal, so you could record the. Because that's the reason why they put it in there, because people were doing that. Sorry, go
on. No, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's funny, isn't it? You know, for every era, they always find a way to get around it. You know, whichever it is, whether it's VHS, Betamax, up to DVD, up to Blu-ray, up to 4K disc, up to streaming, they'll always find a way around it. You know, intelligent people always find a way, because they're like, I'm not paying for that. I'm just going to keep it.
and then when DVD started, all my friends were copying films on. They had blank DVDs and they were just copying films, and they have 6 films on one DVD or some nonsense like that. And you know, now we were swapping DVDs left, right, and center. I had Aliens once on DVD until I got it properly on tape or whatever. But yeah, I mean, you know, those are the things. Now, obviously, now we've got Pirate Bay, and people are sending me films left, right, and center. Do you know what I mean? It's but I do miss physical media. I do miss, you know, actually having, you know, I can show you one of my prized possessions, because you know I love. Hold on.
Yeah.
So
who's coming, everybody?
I love Close Encounters, one of my favorite films, and this is one of my prized possessions. And it's got a booklet in here.
He's been drinking, everyone.
Look, the book. So I would never open it. I'd never open it. Do you know why? Because when you open it and you bend the pages, it kind of just. So I could only do this.
So
I love this. I love it. Sorry.
Do you know what? You actually recommended that version to me, because I was going to get the 4K version.
Yeah.
And I went for the Blu-ray because of the collector's set, because of what you get in it. So I didn't even upgrade to the 4K. I just kept it. I've got that one on my shelf, which is great. You know, again, like you, physical media, I think it's just from the era we are from is why we love it so much. I mean, that's why, you know, like similarly, why you look behind me, why I've got collections there, and you know, I see you've got a big collection. When you watch someone like Nerdrotic and he's got all his collectibles in the background,
oh my god,
yeah,
wow,
it's all
that's
the
a
same
different
thing.
level. That's a different level.
Yeah.
No way am I as different level like him or even you even. I mean, I've still got DVDs.
You got a lot up there,
loads of DVDs up here and Blu-rays on this side here. But no way am I like Gary, because Gary has comics, he has models, he has, you know, he has a crap load of stuff. It's crazy. I mean, I get annoyed when I have to dust them down. Do you know what I mean? I hate dusting them down. It's like, and you look at it, you think, where does all this dust come from? It's like, it's crazy, right? It's like, where does all this dust come from? So anyway,
I mean, it's like Dalek Lives Matter said, don't buy the 4K Exorcist, it's worse than the Blu-ray render. I'm getting to that point now. I don't know about you, mate, but I'm getting to the point now where I'm thinking, do you know what? I'm just going to stick with the Blu-ray version, because I'm finding the quality on the 4Ks on some of them just isn't as good as the Blu-rays.
Well,
I'm happy with the Blu-rays. They look good.
Yeah, it's because they use AI. But I mean, there are some, like I heard that Temple of Doom 4K is absolutely brilliant, and I haven't got actually I think I've got it somewhere, but it's really good quality, and they didn't use AI to I don't know, they did something to it, and it looks terrific, and a lot of people have been praising Temple of Doom. Actually, I love Temple of Doom. But it's, you know, again, right? 4K. Look, when you get a 4K tape, or not tape, what I'm talking about, when you get a 4K disc, okay, you have to have the right stuff to show it. You have to have the proper TV that kicks out 4K. You have to have the proper leads. You have to have the proper 4K player. Otherwise, if you don't, it just doesn't look good. You're like, why did I pay money 4K and look at it, looks like shit? It's because you haven't got the right equipment to connect to it. And that costs a lot of money. You might as well just buy a Blu-ray. You know what I mean?
I remember a decade ago when the new thing was they brought back 3D. And when I bought my latest telly, they came with the 3D and the 3D glasses. But the thing is, I always knew it was a fad, because especially, you know, putting the glasses on to watch a movie, and some of them did look good. There was a Spider-Man one that looked really good, but it's just, I just couldn't be bothered with it. It was a stretch too far for me. I mean, it didn't work. It worked for a time in the 50s, but then people got bored of it, and it was something that died out quickly, and then it kind of just faded back to normal Blu-ray and then up to 4K. It was just a gimmick, wasn't it? Really, you know. Now they're talking about 8K.
Oh no, my God!
No way.
You know what really annoys me about Blu-ray and 4K, right?
Yeah.
After all these years, when you stick a DVD in, it plays. When you stick a bloody Blu-ray and you have to wait till it revs up, what the hell's that all about? Revving up. Like, I was watching Indiana Jones yesterday. I was like, put it in. All right, let's see this. All I can see is Indiana Jones going like this. It's revving up.
Yeah.
It's like silhouette going like this. I'm like, what? You know, could they create something that just plays automatically?
Well,
you know, I don't
think,
understand.
wouldn't you? And it's like, look, we went through the 80s and the 90s with VHS, where we got the VHS from the blockbusters or whatever, and the person hadn't rewound the video, so we had to wait a few minutes for it to rewind. We don't need to go through that anymore. Just make sure it boots up straight away. Let us get into the movie. We're happy. But one other thing I will say about VHS that I miss is the trailers that were on the VHS before the film. They always had the trailers on there, and I loved it, you know. And you had the movie studio logo would pop up as well. You know, you don't get that anymore. It's a shame. It really is. But we're clearly dinosaurs.
You just used to have that advert where it says piracy is a crime.
Before
the film would start.
It's like someone put in the chat a few minutes ago. It's like, you know, the early 2000s one where it's like, you wouldn't mug somebody, you wouldn't kill them, you know. And then it goes with the scary music, and then the girl's going off of her rucksack, and it's downloading.
Yeah.
It's like, no, murder and downloading a movie is not quite the same thing.
No. And all this rubbish about it's damaging Hollywood. It was never damaging Hollywood. I remember Quentin Tarantino. He was so chuffed that people were pirating Reservoir Dogs. He was like,
word of mouth.
That's so cool. Yeah, that's so cool." He was saying. So it was never taking money away from Hollywood. Never. It never did. So you know, it was like, if you're poor, you just get a pirate version. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And my friends growing up who were poorer, they would get the pirate version, but then you would find that their parents would have scraped some money together and they'll buy it from a shop for them for Christmas. So you're right, the studio's always won anyway because the kid wanted it so badly. But it's great.
Yeah, not. I mean, things have changed now anyway. So, but I think it's. I don't know. You know what? Right, I'm an old fogey, so all I can talk about, all I can see is what I know. But these kids today, they're going to know more than me as they get older. Things are going to come in, you know. And who am I to say that looking at your phone and being on it 24/7 is wrong? It's up to them to find what's right
their
for
era.
them. It's their era. Nothing I can do to stop that. But if my nieces come round to watch a film with me, I get very annoyed that they're watching the film like this.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's definitely a generational thing. I mean, I've said to you before, when we did that, you know, we talked about the 11th hour Doctor Who.
Yeah,
that is one where the phone is off. I turn the phone off and I'm just in the moment with it. Like you said about Close Encounters, Indiana Jones movies, well, the first 3, we don't talk about the others, and Star Wars, all of that. I literally, the phone goes off and I'm happy in my happy place. But
I mean,
it's great.
I mean, as I said, I've still got my old VHSs. I might have to chuck them out actually because I'm moving soon. I've got a shitload of DVDs. I never watched them though. I mean, I should really watch this Star Wars DVD that I've got here.
Was it The Acolyte?
No. It's the original. You know, the silver one.
Quality.
Yeah, got
That's
and
good
they got
set,
the
man.
bonus. Yeah, the bonus material. And stuff. So, but the thing is, though, it's so easy. I mean, like when my sister always tells me, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna watch this film tonight, Ian. Have you seen it?" He always asks me and stuff like that. But it's easier for them to go to Amazon and watch the film rather than actually, you know, taking the DVD out, which they, you know, and stuff like that. So it's just convenience to people now. That's why so many people watch streaming. Yeah.
I don't think people, there's people I know that don't quite understand me. They're a lot younger where, you know, I grew up, I'd go into HMV on a Saturday with a friend and we would spend probably 3 hours just sifting through the DVDs to buy, and, you know, in the bargain section, like get 3 for 20 quid or whatever. And I'd come back with a big haul and I was so happy, you know, but it was just great being in there, just working my way through from A to Z. Just great times. I think I was going to say Gavin Blackburn. Yeah, trailers are rubbish since that trailer voice guy passed away. I will say my friend Shane from the Popcast Brothers, I call for him to do it because he can do a really good trailer voice. So maybe we've got to get him to do some at some point. You know, definitely.
You've always got to start with "It was a time." You know, that way. You got to start that way.
But, like the new Doctor Who trailer. In a time before trans, became a man who became a woman,
who became a black man, a gay man,
and wore a dress and danced on a dance floor.
The usual nonsense. As I said, right, physical stuff for me. I always think it's the best thing, really, because you know, when you download something, it's not really yours. I mean, if Amazon, I've got 5 things I've downloaded from Amazon which I own. If Amazon goes down, that's all going. It's all going, and you're never going to see it again.
they can take it down in a moment. They can edit it. They can cut bits out of it. Once you've got your physical copy, they can't do anything to you. That's yours. You can watch it to your heart's content until your player packs in.
Yeah. Do you know
That's
what?
why
Right.
physical media is important.
Do you know what
Yeah.
I found out? Maybe I've read this wrong, or maybe I heard it wrong. Is that the prequels to Star Wars that was shot in 1080? The
Really?
digital thing they were using was 1080, 1080p. That was the height of the technology in those days. So
yeah,
the digital prequels of Star Wars are not even HD. They're not even 4K.
That's mad.
They're 1080. That's crazy.
That is crazy because it's like it wasn't that long after, because I was talking about 2004 when the final season of Star Trek Enterprise came out, and they said we're doing this in 4K. So that's mad. I mean, especially Lucas, but yeah, you're probably right on that, because
actually, they actually shot
19, it. 99 that would have been. So
so they actually shot it, and the technology they had can only kick out 1080 picture wise. So that's how they were shooting it. That's crazy, right? Because I think I saw a YouTube video on it. I think I saw. I'm not sure.
So essentially, then they're what we've got on the 4Ks then are just effectively upscaled.
Yes, apparently so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's some
they look great.
Yeah, there's some great. I mean, what did I get? Let's just move that fella. I got
Robert Payne. Yeah, exactly.
I got this.
That's quality.
Yeah. I mean, when I first saw it, look, see, it's got a little booklet in there as well. Look at that. Look at that. I'm scared to open it.
He's scared to open it. Yeah.
Because I'll ruin it.
You thought I was bad, everybody. Look at him. He's on a whole new level.
I'm not gonna open that book ever. Do you know what I mean?
But that's another thing, movie soundtracks, collecting movie soundtracks, is a big thing.
Loads. I've got loads. It's crazy.
It's a special, but I think I've talked to you ages ago about this. I cannot remember the last movie soundtrack that I actually liked and I really wanted. I think, funnily enough, the last one I probably got was probably, I'm actually going to say it was probably the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah, like that one.
Or Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I got Lord of the Rings as well.
Yeah,
I got Lord of the Rings.
And Gladiator soundtrack.
In fact, I've got two. I don't know why I've got two. I've got two. The one I just showed you, I've got two of them. I'm looking at them both now. It's crazy. Why did I get two? I got two Tomorrow Never Dies soundtracks as well. Weird.
Yeah.
Why have I got two? I don't know.
One for casual, one for best.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I probably got it for a reason. Do you remember this one? Everyone had that.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Everyone had that at the time. Yeah, it was a must to have that. It was crazy, right? But yeah, I got loads of soundtracks. It's madness.
But I remember, sort of 90s. I remember getting the Wayne's World soundtrack.
Yeah, I think I got that somewhere as well. I've got I've got two Empire Strikes Backs. Why have I got two?
I bet you it's probably something like you got one off somebody for Christmas and one for birthday, or you bought it yourself and someone else bought you one.
Why have I got two? I don't know why.
I just think
I don't even remember buying it. No, I don't even remember buying it twice. It might belong to my brother, actually. He moved to Canada. Maybe it was his one.
Yeah.
So I got, I got Close Encounters one as well. Look, Close Encounters. Look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, look. I'm scared to open it.
Yeah, I know.
Another booklet. I'm scared to open it. I'm just going to leave it. I'm not going to ruin it. I'm not going to ruin it at all. It's badness. I want it to be all pristine, the little booklets that they used to get. Did you ever used to get? Did you ever get the Empire Strikes Back vinyl? No, I don't call it vinyl. It was records. Did you ever get that? Because in the Empire Strikes Back record, you opened it and it had a huge booklet in there, didn't it?
So good.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I remember. I didn't have it. I remember a family member had it, and I was like, "This is so cool," because I remember in the 80s, I remember getting record singles. That was a thing, going into our price or HMV and getting a record single or a cassette.
Yeah.
And cassettes were kind of, I was going more cassette. And then obviously CD came in. And I think the first CD I ever got was Michael Jackson Bad.
Oh, yeah.
And for some reason, I really wanted Cliff Richard Mistletoe and Wine one Christmas for one particular reason. So that's a trauma I've got to live with.
It's not a bad song. I remember
could have been worse. Could have been Millennium Prayer.
Exactly. I remember liking, and this is, I shouldn't really admit this, but I remember liking Wired for Sound when I first heard it. Remember that stupid trailer?
Rollerblade with headphones on and a Walkman strapped to your tight 80s shorts. I mean, that set a trend, all right. We need to bring it back, mate. We need to bring it back. We need to do 80s shorts rollerblading with Walkman headphones on. You know, the orange ones. You know, the puffy orange ones.
I mean, I used to have that. I used to have the Sony one that could turn your tape. You didn't have to turn it. You didn't have to take it. So it used to automatically turn to the next side. Did you have the
turbo boost? Did you have turbo boost as well? Where you press
circle, the circle. They used to have a little circle for the volume at the top.
That's it.
I used to have that. I used to love that. Going to school, just listening to that and hiding it in my bag just in case it got nicked by some of the bullies in school. But yeah, I used to love listening to that. I used to love it.
When they had radio added to it as well, where you could pick up radio. And I was like, this is like black magic. I can go anywhere now. I can do anything. I've got music wherever I go, as long as the AA batteries last while I'm out and about.
Look at this one.
So good.
Raiders of the Lost Ark. Has it got a booklet in there? Let's find out. No, I'm going to close it now, lads.
That's it.
Hello. No, don't bend. Don't bend.
Keeping that locked tight away.
Seriously, guys. Not opening that one. Jeez.
Yeah.
Even got
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's got loads of them. I mean, again, but then that's all part of the fun of collecting.
It is. Yeah, it is.
You don't get that. You just don't get the same feeling with purchasing it online, and you see the artwork thumbnail.
Yeah.
But there's nothing better than getting back, unwrapping the set, and then, like you said, just you open it up, you have a look at the booklet, you know, you look at the artwork that's on the cover. It's just our eras. It's just how we're wired, really.
Well, again, right? It's, you know, it's in your hand. It's physical. Do you know what I mean? It's not like owned by Amazon. You know.
Yeah.
I think on my Amazon account, I've got 4 films that I've actually brought. The only reason I brought them is because when my nieces come round and they go, like, for instance, I brought The Thing, which I've already got on Blu-ray. They were like, "Can we watch The Thing?" And I was like, "Okay, well, let me just get it out." They were like, "Oh no, but it's on Amazon. Can we watch it on Amazon?" I'm like, "But I've got it on here." And they're like, "No, let's watch it on Amazon." And it's like £2. So was it £5? I paid £5 so they can just sit there and watch The Thing on Amazon. So I've got that. That's in my little box of stuff that I've got. I think I've got,
you say, it's a convenience thing, isn't it? It's just click and play.
Yeah.
You know,
Jeepers Creepers, but they wanted to see that and I didn't have it on DVD. So I brought Jeepers Creepers and they watched that as well. So, you know what I mean? It's just convenience. I think people now, they're so lazy, you know, like going to the cinema, I'd rather watch it in TV. But you're missing the communal experience. You're missing the experience of a big screen. You're missing the experience that you're just locked into the film and you can't get up for a cup of tea. You can't get up for a piss. You have to wait till the film finishes. Therefore, you're immersed into the film. Therefore, you enjoy it more. No, they don't want that.
It's also that wonder of going with a friend and then you're coming out and you're like, "Oh, that was really good, wasn't it? You know, that was a great film. Really enjoyed that one."
Or it was really shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You know, but you got your popcorn. You're all right.
Yeah. So I'm saying, it's like, I remember the last film I saw with a load of my friends was Prometheus. And we came out and it was absolute shit. But the listen, the biggest crowd that I went to the cinema with was for Back to the Future 2, right? And I was in charge, and we took up a whole row. Our friends took up a whole row. So it was like, I can't remember how much it was. It was like 25 people. And I had to buy it. So we took up a whole row, and we were so excited. Back to the Future 2. We ran in the cinema, and we're sitting there, and we're like, I can't wait for this film to start. I was so disappointed with that film. I was so annoyed. You know what really pissed me off as well? First of all, I thought it was just a rerun of the first one, which was annoying. And the second one, I hated when he had that letter. Do you remember when it was raining?
Yeah.
And all the water on the letter. I'm like, get under the umbrella, you idiot. What are you doing? That kind of thing. It was, I mean, I look at it again and I think it's okay. But when I first saw
It's from the doc.
Yeah. I was so disappointed when I saw it. I was like,
I mean,
the third one was really good, in my opinion.
Yeah. I love Back to the Future Part 2, but I agree it is a complete rerun of the first one.
Yeah.
But like you say, the third one is superb. I adore it. You know, it's from Doc's perspective, not Marty's perspective.
Yeah.
And it's just a well-made movie. And again, I love the Western setting of it. I love the fact that they're kind of setting up all the way through that, you know, the DeLorean's damaged. They need to get back, but you know, it finally gets destroyed because he wants to destroy it.
You know,
then a blooming train turns up.
Yeah, there's one line in that film that I get now. I really get it now. When Doc Brown is walking around with Marty, and he says, Doc Brown says, I love it here. I love it here. Smell the air. It's so clean. And he goes, look at this and whatever. And now when I think to myself, if I went back in time, I'd probably think the same thing as well compared to today. But I get it now. I get what you're saying now, definitely. But
100%. And I think, you know, I just think it's so clever. And it's like, you know, where Marty turns out, he goes, what's that riding? Nikes, is it? You know, and he's in his Nikes and, you know, the outfit, you know, who dressed you in that terrible outfit? You did.
You did. Honestly, it's a good film, and they obviously set it up because remember that scene in the second one with he's watching the Clint Eastwood film. Remember, and they were shooting at him, and he had the metal plate. And in the third one, that's exactly what he did, didn't he? So they did set it up. It's really good. Yeah,
I mean, that's what I love about it is they set that up in the second movie.
Yeah, they do.
You know, with Biff watching it, and I love that pays off in the third movie, but I love the fact that, you know, he puts the door on him, the iron door on under his chest, you know, and it's so good. And just the hoverboard is used well in it as well. It's a really good movie. And again, look, we started the show talking about Back to the Future, but talking about it again, I mean, it's a perfect trilogy.
I mean, they did a lot of nods to other films. Like they did one to It's a Wonderful Life. Do you remember in the second one when they go to, is it the second one or the third one? They go to Doc Brown's grave, don't they?
That's right.
Thing. There's a scene, very similar scene to that in It's a Wonderful Life. And my brother was alive. He saved it. No, he wasn't.
Yeah,
you know, because you weren't there. Do you know what I mean? He died in the ice. Yeah.
I really enjoy them. I forget his name again. You know his name, but the guy that played Marty's dad in the first one, where he had the big bust up in the court battle, but where he argued, he says, well, the only thing he said is that
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover, and he said to them, he said, well, yeah, but should this resolution to being winning be coming back being rich? And they fell out about it, and I was like, well, I don't mind that. You know, it's that was a movie I love with, you know,
I think
he gets the truck.
I think some people think about it too deeply, and the thing is, though, it's meant to be fun, right? And if you think about it too deeply, it would spoil the enjoyment. You're not supposed to think about things like that too deeply. Do you know what I mean? Like, for instance, right, when you used to watch Laurel and Hardy, they used to sleep in the same bed, right? And if you think about that too deeply, you're like, oh, they're gay. They're not gay. That's just what they did. And I remember when they did a couple of seasons of Morecambe and Wise, and when they got big was when these other writers took over, and Morecambe and Wise became huge. 20 million used to watch them every week. And there was this one sketch where they were sharing a bed, and Eric said to the writers, he said, we can't do that, sharing a bed. And then the writer just said to him, well, if it's good for Laurel and Hardy. And then Eric said, okay, fine, I'll do it. Do you know what I mean? So if you watch those sketches, they're in the same bed. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. But those kind of things were innocent. They wasn't trying to make any statements. It was just the way it was. And it's the same thing with most films, you know. But it's the same thing with Back to the Future. Back to the Future, that's just the way it is. You shouldn't look. It's just a movie. You shouldn't look too deeply into it.
Just a fun, entertaining movie. And you know, again, like you, I've lost count of how many times I've watched those films over the decades that I've been on the earth. I never get bored of them. I enjoy every one of them, and it's just, for me, they're perfect. They're perfect. I love them.
Oh, his mother fancies him, fancies her own son. But look,
but she doesn't know it's the son.
She doesn't know. She doesn't know. And also, when she kissed him, there was something about that kiss that repelled her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, she was like, it's like kissing my brother. She says it, doesn't she?
Yeah, no, but they don't want to look at that. What they want to look at is the negative side of Back to the Future, which is absolute rubbish. Do you know? Absolute nonsense. Do you know, like, oh, they shouldn't use the word spooks in there. And it's like, that was what they used in the 50s. What is wrong with you? And also, Marty wasn't a racist because he didn't see any color in them. You know, everybody's calling them spooks, but he was like willing to play with them.
Where he comes
Do you know
from,
what I mean?
It's a normalized thing.
Exactly. And as I'm saying, it's like people just want to look at the negative side of the actual way Back to the Future is constructed. It's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
So stupid. Yeah. Absolutely stupid.
It just, for anyone to knock those films, they must have a serious issue, because they're just timeless classics for me.
And what is that? There was another one. Why is a 17-year-old kid hanging out with a 40-year-old man? It's like, what is wrong with you? I was friends with someone, not that way. I was friends with someone older than me when I was in college. I was friends with my one of my teachers, and I'm still friends with him. My Sean Briggs, really great teacher. Really, there was always this one teacher that was kind of like you and kind of pointed you in the right direction. And so Sean was an artist, and I shot my first short film with him. You know, so basically, I met Sean at the college, and he was my tutor. And then I went on to be a runner at some post-production company. And the post-production company, I made contact with the BBC, and I had this idea for a kids show. Yeah. And so the post-production company gave me money to make a pilot. And the first person I called was Sean. I said, Sean, do you want to help me with this? And we made, me and Sean made the pilot together for Anna Home at the BBC. Yeah. She was in charge of kids. So as I'm saying, so it is possible you can be friends with people older than you.
It doesn't have to be sinister.
No.
There can be reasons for it. And it's like, the parents clearly knew, though, because, although they were, before the reality changes and they come back and they're wealthy.
Yeah.
They might be idiots, but they clearly must have known about it, because when he goes to the school and the headmaster knows about, you've got to stop messing around with hanging around with Doc Brown. Yeah. So you're telling me that there wasn't a parents' evening one night, and he would have said, Strickland would have said that to the parents. That would have happened. So I just don't get why there's a problem with it.
Well, the mother was a drunk, and the father was a coward, so they're not going to do anything, are they? But that's the thing. You see, I think people look at the negative side of Back to the Future, and it's so stupid. It's like this is a film, 1 and 2, that you can explain all those things away. It's just people want to just shit on it. That's what they want to
Yeah,
do.
well,
Do you know what I mean?
it's like Julie Cooney says now. The latest thing is, that Shakespeare they've got problems with and
Yeah,
issues with these idiots, and even Lord of the Rings. I think I saw the other day I was watching a Nerdrotic, and they basically were saying about the fact that that you've got to have different variations of orcs in
yeah,
Lord of the Rings because
oh,
not all of them are evil, and you're like, what? They're orcs. They're coming to
yeah,
kill you. You know,
yeah,
these people
yeah,
are morons. They really are.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah.
Um,
As I said, there are loads of films that people question, and I'm like, you're so stupid. You know what I mean? It's like if it's enjoyable, it's enjoyable. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
oh, Luke kissed his sister. And it's like, well, he didn't know it was his sister. Do you know
No,
what I mean?
no,
At the
no.
time, so
He's
he gets a
that's
pass.
that's the real reason he went off in isolation in Last Jedi, because it was all trauma.
You know,
Hate that
it's like,
movie.
obviously when George Lucas wrote Star Wars, he didn't obviously he made it as a
Didn't know they were
made
getting
it
to
as he
that.
didn't know, yeah, exactly to that point. So, but
Yeah.
that's just saying that people just want to look at the negative side of certain classic films, and
We
it's
didn't
so
care.
annoying.
We were just in the moment, just enjoying it, just the wonder
Yeah,
of it, really. And I think you're right that if studios are to survive, they need to get back to, we need to entertain. We need to
yeah,
just switch off from all of the nonsense and go, this is a film to entertain. The
yeah,
idiots that moan about it online, like you say, they're very small numbers, but they've got large voices online. They're always going to moan anyway. If you did everything that they wanted you to do with a
yeah,
movie or a show, they would
yeah,
still moan about it. It's like
yeah,
we've talked about at the beginning about Doctor Who and Star Wars and all these others. They've done what these idiots wanted them to do,
yeah,
and
yeah,
yet they've destroyed the franchises because of it. And these
yeah.
people, they're not buying any of the merchandise. They don't care. So why pamper to these idiots? Just make entertaining shows that are well written, you
Because
know,
the idiots are the one that's running the
run it
industry
now.
now.
Yeah.
So that's why they're trying to make everybody, they're trying to normalize madness. That's what they're
Yeah.
trying to do, and it's just we got to stand up to that nonsense. That's the
Yeah.
thing. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And until then, I'll keep enjoying all my collections and I'll just be happy.
Don't open those booklets.
No,
Just
no,
just
no,
don't
no.
open them. If you want
Not a
them to say
chance.
pristine, don't open them. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
But
Uh,
I wanted to say as well, we're going to wrap it up now.
yeah.
But it's been an absolute joy tonight. It's always great hanging out with my buddy Ian, and thank you everybody for turning up. We do these surprises now. We just drop them on you, and you turn up. So really appreciate it. And again, please hit the like button. Please hit the
Comments.
subscribe button if you want more. As Ian said,
Comment.
comments. Just tell us what you think. Tell us if you want us to talk about something or do something else. Me and Ian are open to hearing about it. But
Well, if you
just
want to
do it.
come on, as well, just drop us a
Yeah,
line. I mean, it's always good to talk to new people, and
yeah,
unfortunately, this is community now. Instead of actually meeting physically,
yeah,
this is what the world's turned us into now. I mean, I'm not complaining because obviously my buddy John and we get to talk nonsense on this, but they're
yeah.
just saying that if anyone wants to come on, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. So yeah,
Mm.
just message us and we'll sort something out, because we called it the pub chat show tonight, and that's kind of what it is. It's for people just to hang out and just riff and talk about the stuff we love, and all of you
No
love
beer.
what we're talking about. Yeah, yeah, no beer. The tap's off. It's give you gut rot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
But
But yeah,
it's really appreciate it all. Have a good day and rest of your week. Wow, it's Friday tomorrow, isn't it? So have a good weekend
yeah,
if I don't see you. Anybody that's interested, Sunday evening UK time 8:30 and 12:30 PST in the United States. We're doing we've got another Stargate SG-1 watch party coming up for season 3. So if you're not doing anything and you like a bit of sci-fi and Stargate, come on in and join us. But until then,
also, can you, if you get the chance, can you subscribe to the Rebecca Gold channel?
Yes,
right.
I knew I'd forgotten something.
I'm close to 3K, and it's not a lot, but you know, it means something to me. But I mean, it just takes you a second just to subscribe, even if you're not going to watch the channel. Even if you're not going to watch the channel, you'll be doing me a favor.
Yeah.
So you know, it's up to you guys. I'm requesting, but it's up to you guys.
And he's got previous episodes of the Rebecca Gold on there, so check them out as well because they're really good. So you'd be surprised how good it is.
Well. Got movies, happy quality,
exactly.
Hey.
Yeah, so check it out, but definitely subscribe and like, because you know it'd be good to give Ian that support, definitely. So until then, look after yourselves, and we will see you again in the future. Take care, all. Bye.
Bye.